WKFM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The immunity arguments are over. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The U.S. Supreme Court wrapping up questions over former President Trump's claim he should have immunity from federal prosecution over actions taken while still in office. Fox's David Spunt at the Supreme Court.
This is something the Supreme Court typically allots an hour, hour and a half. This one almost 3 hours to show you the stakes here. This case is about much more than Donald Trump. This goes into the future with presidential immunity. The former president, though, charged with attempting to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, claims that allegations surround a time when he was still president. He says that he cannot be indicted because he was president. His attorney, John Sauer, pressed on several points of this very argument.
Some of the questions centering on the difference between official acts and private acts and whether that distinction should matter in this case. A federal judge just ruling the former president is not entitled to a new trial over writer E. Jean Carroll's claims, rejecting an effort to toss out that defamation judgment. The former president's first criminal trial continues in New York. Before heading to court, he was at a construction site early this morning.
I built a lot of buildings with the Teamsters, and they like me, a lot of Teamsters here. And it's an amazing show of affection.
The Teamsters haven't endorsed anyone yet in the presidential race, but a larger building trades union group that they're part of endorsed President Biden yesterday. President Biden says the U.S. economy remains strong with steady and stable growth after a new report showing weaker growth than expected in the first quarter at 1.6%, rattling Wall Street. The Dow's down 460 points. It was down more than 600 earlier. The tug of war over net neutrality continues, with the Democratic majority on the FCC just voting to restore those rules, rescinded during the Trump administration. The rules ban internet service providers from interfering with customers' internet speed. Regulators say it's necessary, so all websites are treated equally. America is listening to Fox News.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
Or you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly to mostly sunny skies going through our Thursday afternoon. Delightful outside, 72. Tonight, clouds take over. Winds increase, but the evening's dry. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder after midnight, 55. Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Friday afternoon, some could be strong, though the focus is well to our west. Windy and 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than they're worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
I get asked a lot, what's the difference between the efficiency ratings and the numbers that customers hear while they're getting prices? Pretty much the difference is the numbers. As far as As far as actual savings, there is a very easy common sense way to explain the differences in the energy ratings and the types of energy rating on the furnaces, what you can get and what you can't get, and what's best suited for you, what you actually do need or what you absolutely do not need. You'll be surprised and very happy that you called me. So call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. This is the only number that you need to call. 314-293-2600 or on the website Bart Inman. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Describe your perfect date.
It's a tough one. I'd have to say April 25th, because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
Happy April 25th, folks. I know you thought we were going to come in hot with some SCOTUS stuff, but I had to get that out of the way. Miss Congeniality, one of the funniest parts of that movie. Great movie. April 25th is the perfect day for a whole bunch of legal stuff to be dumped into our lap. We've been listening and watching this morning as the Supreme Court immunity trial has been unfolding in front of us. And I wanted to bring to you the latest reaction here from my favorite Supreme Court source. Let's listen to what Shannon Bream.
It's quite a party atmosphere out here with demonstrators on both sides of this conversation, but it was much more somber inside. You're correct in that former President Trump did not get clearance from the New York judge to be here, so he wasn't here, but Jack Smith certainly was. And when he walked into the courtroom today, it was with a real seriousness about the proceedings. Yesterday we had an abortion case that was much more heated and fiery among the justices. Today they were sort of plodding through this, everybody probably talking about that line from Justice Gorsuch that they're writing a rule for the ages, and they seem to have the real weight of that on them today as they went for an extended period of time, extended rounds of questionings with both of the attorneys, very much weighing this. And yes, it may come down to public versus private, and as Paul said, that may wind up sending this case back below for further proceedings that, again, would be a win for the Trump legal team because it would just further delay this. This case has been expedited. I'm not sure we're going to have to wait till the end of June for it. The justices seemed today very read in, very, very targeted with the questions that they were asking. They've talked about the enormous volume of briefs that they've gone through. So to get to this argument today was really, it felt like inside a somber moment, very quiet, very judicious, everybody getting their time, nobody interrupting, kind of like they were yesterday. The real action is obviously here outside, and now we wait. They'll take a first private vote on Friday behind closed doors.
All right. So Shannon Bream, yes, outside in front of the Supreme Court and just giving us the lay of the land there. I listened to, especially the beginning part, probably the first hour or so of these hearings, and the attorney for that was leading on the Trump side John Sauer. He gave some opening remarks. Let's listen to some of
For
them.
234 years of American history, no president was ever prosecuted for his official acts. The framers of our Constitution viewed an energetic executive as essential to securing liberty. If a president can be charged, put on trial, and imprisoned for his most controversial decisions as soon as he leaves office, that looming threat will distort the president's decision-making precisely when bold and fearless action is most needed. Every current president will face de facto blackmail and extortion by his political rivals while he is still in office.
So the folks advocating for the presidential immunity to apply here to Donald Trump's actions, there was a point where each of the different charges, each of the different acts were put in front of John Sauer, and he was supposed to say, like, official act or private act. And really, it seems as though that's what the question comes down to. What is determined to be an official act? Because a lot of what Donald Trump has been charged with, the Trump attorneys are arguing that he was doing such things in the office, in his authority, in the presence of being the president of the United States. Is a presidential official act. And then you heard some of the justices questioning back to Sauer saying, okay, what about a president who appoints an ambassador to wherever? And that's an official act. But what if the president appointed Brad Range to be the ambassador to, where would you be the ambassador to?
England.
England.
Yes.
All right. If Brad Range was appointed to be the ambassador to England, but because Brad Range promised the president, if you make me the ambassador, I'll give you $1 million. So that would be bribery. Is that an official act or is it a private act because there's a special private interest involved in executing that official act in a particular way? So that really is the crux of the concern that is facing the Supreme Court right now, is, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, and we will verify with Hans von Spakovsky in about 13 minutes from now. The question that is at hand is, what is an official act and what isn't? Here's the President Trump speaking on the issue.
I think that the Supreme Court has a very important argument before it today. I would have loved to have been there, but this judge would not allow that to happen. I should be there, but he wouldn't allow it to happen. I think he puts himself above the Supreme Court, which is unfortunate, isn't it? But the argument on immunity is very important. The president has to have immunity. This has nothing to do with me. This has to do with a president in the future, for 100 years from now. If you don't have immunity, you're not going to do anything. You're going to become a ceremonial president. You're just going to be doing nothing. You're not going to take any of the risks, both good and bad. I mean, you're going to make some great decisions and save the country, and you're going to make some decisions which are unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But you're not going to do anything if you don't have immunity, because otherwise you're going to be prosecuted after you leave office.
So I understand what the president is saying there. I understand that the president needs to not be hamstrung in making the decisions for the country that is best for the country. They can't be in a position where they're going to be in fear of the opposite political party post-presidency coming in and trying to prosecute them for these things that they did in the best interest at the time with the knowledge that they had on behalf of the country. And then, of course, the counter argument is, but how do you know that that's what they were doing and it wasn't for their own personal benefit? Well, that's for the Supreme Court to decide, and we will watch and see what happens as that unfolds. At the same time, there have been documents that have been unredacted. In the Florida case, Judge Cannon has released documents that allude to the fact that there's coordination between the Biden administration and the Department of Justice on the prosecution of Donald Trump in the documents case in Florida. Does that make you mad? If you're somebody who is trying to watch a fair and impartial justice system work with the political party that is the opposite of the other guy who is running for president, does it make you mad at all to know that the guy who is the president of the United States is making phone calls and having meetings to discuss potentially digging up dirt and prosecuting somebody who is the leading political opponent, because that's exactly what they did to Donald Trump when they impeached him over the Zelensky call, because they said it was something that was being orchestrated around the leading political opponent, who wasn't even the leading political opponent at the time, Joe Biden. But he just somehow or another, remember when Joe Biden didn't have a fighting chance, and then the next day they were like, Joe Biden's our guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, Beto O'Rourke got off standing on the bar for that? Really? Seems fishy. That's the question. I know that we have the Supreme Court thing going on. I know that we have the non-hush money trial going on in New York with Alvin Bragg. But that documents thing is the story that is of the most interest to me right now.
The thing that blows my mind about it is, why did they feel the need to, like, if that's all normal and that's regular, why did you feel the need to redact that stuff? Why was that hidden behind the black bars on the paper?
We'll ask Hans. Because it's just, there is an allegation of coordination between the Fulton County, Georgia case in the White House. Colangelo, who is the lawyer who is directly at the epicenter of what's going on in the Alvin Bragg case, is that right? Colangelo is the one who was there, I believe, in the Manhattan trial, was an advisor in the White House, and he left that job to come handle this. Seems very connected. Seems, to me, because I'm not smart enough to understand how all of these things work in the legal system, seems conspiratorial, but maybe that's a complete and total reach, and we'll ask Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation what his opinion is on that here in a little less than 10 minutes. There are a lot of issues facing Americans today that have nothing to do with Donald Trump and his legal challenges. It's interesting to watch the whole news cycle wrap around Donald Trump and his legal challenges, to know that the Biden administration has a very, very huge interest in the outcome of these, and know that the main story people are talking about isn't the American people. Wouldn't that be the way you would want it if you were Joe Biden?
Yeah, I wouldn't want people looking at my job performance if I was him. It's been an absolute disaster. I wouldn't want people looking at his foreign policy that has put us into, or adjacent to, two very hot wars that are basically starting to rip the country apart. If you look at college campuses across the land, you know, you go to buy stuff from the grocery store and you can't buy as much stuff as you used to buy on the salary that you've had. He talks about, oh, we've created all these jobs, but real wages haven't kept up with the inflation rates. Oh, yeah, inflation comes down, but inflation compounds. It's 3% over last year's 9%, over the previous year's 9%. So you start adding those together and you go, holy crap, no wonder stuff costs a fifth more.
Keep the focus on Donald Trump.
Nothing to see here. There's a building that's on fire behind him. Nothing to see here. Look at that man over there. He's the alternative.
I just ask myself, like, what is the percentage of American voters who are in play? That's the YouTube poll today. In a roundabout way, we're asking you on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, can Trump win New York? Yes or no? This morning, it was like 6 a.m. It was the sun was up, but Donald Trump was out meeting with a bunch of union members, laborers, and they loved him. And that was obvious. He's in New York. He continues to use the lemons he's been given to make some lemonade. And there are people who are showing up who are not supposed to be, when you're looking on paper at demographics, these are people who are not supposed to be Trump supporters. They're supposed to be people who are blind followers to the Democratic Party. Axios put out a poll today, and this is an Axios tweet. Americans are open to Trump's harshest immigration plans. Half, including 42% of Democrats, say they'd support mass deportations of undocumented immigrants, per a new Axios Vibes survey by the Harris Poll. 42% of Democrats support mass deportation of undocumented immigrants. This is an enormous piece of information, because if 42% of Democrats say that the people who are here should be shipped and deported back home, Those people are not going to be okay with having more people come across the southern border due to this president's policies. Their eyes are wide open. They are awake. They're not necessarily going to vote for Donald Trump, but they do know that the current situation is untenable. And that matters. In New York City, in Manhattan, in Harlem, are these people happy with the way that this president has led the country? Are they happy with the way Governor Hochul has led the country? Are they happy with the way de Blasio ran the city? Are they happy with the way Adams is running the city? And I look at Adams and I think, man, that guy has pushed back more than anybody else in the Democrat Party, in my opinion, has pushed back against his party and doesn't get any support for it. There's rumblings that the Donald Trump campaign is looking to get Madison Square Garden to have a rally in support of police officers, law enforcement, teachers, laborers in Madison Square Garden. Can Trump win New York? Not will Trump win New York, but can. He's there right now. He's kind of held captive to the city because of these trials that he has to show up. Put New York in play because of these farcical lawfare charges that they have against Donald Trump. Worth a shot. And when you're looking at New York City and the people and the walks of life that are represented in New York City, they got everybody. You can speak to any community through New York City. And if that's where the Democrats and potentially the Biden administration, if they've worked together with the Department of Justice to try to make these things happen, to set the stage and to draw the lines of where this competition is going to take place, I think Donald Trump should give it a shot. The numbers I keep hearing are 30% of New York City goes to Trump. He can win New York. 30%. I speak those.
Wow.
I speak that language because that's the way Illinois is.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a shot. Where's Joe Biden? What's Joe Biden doing? Not much for these people. His policies, while he skips right over New York City and goes to his vacation home and goes to visit the beach, meanwhile, he's leaving the American people behind, and they're really, really aware of it. I think we're past they're starting to notice. No, we notice. We see it everywhere. It's hard to escape. Can Trump win New York? Yes or no? Tell us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick break. I don't want to waste any more time getting to Hans von Spakovsky about all of the legal questions that you and I both have. Let's get some answers to them when we come back. If you have a question you want to know from Hans, throw it in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat, and maybe I'll get to it when we have that discussion. Coming up next. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Ruler Foods, you find them online at rulerfoods.com. Saving money is important. We're talking a lot about that. Ruler Foods is there to make that job easy peasy. Every time you get a cart, you walk through the store, put the stuff in your cart, you're saving money. Because those products are going to cost a lot more at the other places where you're going to go grocery shop. Make sure you understand how simple it is, how clean it is, how organized it is to go get those name brands that you love and to get the Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices that you love when you shop at Ruler Foods. They're all over the bi-state area. Missouri Ruler Foods, Illinois Ruler Foods. You go into Ruler and you can save on everything, but extra weeks, they have extra specials like this week. They have Boston Ferns. As supplies last, $12 each. Put those on your porch in this perfect day. It's April 25th, folks. It's the perfect day for some ferns. 5-count Kroger boneless pork chops. Cook some of those up. They're going to be absolutely delicious. $5 each. Or grill up some Kroger 80% lean ground beef. Some great burgers sold in a 3-pound roll, $2.99 a pound. Shop at Ruler Foods and save. Get the circular that they have out each week to show you where you can save extra or the one closest to you at rulerfoods.com.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Switch to eco-friendly cleaning products and spend more time outside to make every day Earth Day. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, you know, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
The Muni's epic 106th season begins June 17th. The summer includes Les Miserables, Dreamgirls, Disney's The Little Mermaid, Fiddler on the Roof, Waitress, In the Heights, and Anything Goes. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
The Muni in Forest Park.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
It's what's happening.
Trump's hush money trial.
This is a Biden witch hunt.
Right now.
Anti-Semitism protests at Columbia University.
If you do not leave, you will be arrested.
Keeping you informed.
Aid coming to Ukraine.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Aileen Cannon has seen all of these allegedly 32 records that Donald Trump kept, national defense information that threatened the security of the country. She has seen these. And I feel like this is her motive, to unseal as much as possible. She just ordered the unsealing. I don't know if we have time to talk about it now. She just ordered the unsealing of accusations and evidence of prosecutorial abuse by Jay Brett, who led this investigation early on and then was tasked to special counsel team when Jack Smith was appointed in November of 2022.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
That's not the right intro. Let's get to Hans von Spakovsky. Ryan's like, what? Already? It's 12:30. It's not 12:45. Hans von Spakovsky is on with us right now. We've got an intro for you. We'll play it later during Wiggins' segment. Is that okay with you, Hans? It's good to have you back.
Fine.
It's good to have you back on the show. There's so much to talk about, and the one story that I think is getting glossed over right now, and we'll get to the big stuff here after this, is the unsealing of some of these documents. And they're talking about prosecutorial abuse in that documents case in Florida with Judge Cannon. What can you tell us about what that means, the unsealing of the documents, and what it has shown us?
Well, it's shown us that all the claims by this White House that they had absolutely nothing to do with the Justice Department, the special counsel's prosecution of Trump in the classified documents case, the FBI raid, that's all one big lie. The National Archives, apparently in DOJ, were working with the White House counsel's office throughout all of this. And their fingers seem to be all over this. In fact, one of the documents we've seen is that almost as soon as President Trump left office, the National Archives started working with the White House on making claims that President Trump had mishandled classified documents. So they were onto him almost immediately, and rather than contacting the former president and his staff to say, "Oh, listen, you guys, we think you took some classified records with you." No. They're talking to the Biden White House, who should have absolutely. What do they have to do with the responsibilities of the National Archives? They're the ones responsible for the records of former presidents. So, as I said, this just shows what, again, no surprise, right? What liars the Biden White House is filled with.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring to see the unredactions of these documents and to understand what they mean. We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. He's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, DOJ lawyer as well. If we're reading between the lines as to what this actually does mean, immediately there was coordination from the Biden White House to pin something on Donald Trump. Isn't that what it boils down to?
Oh, yeah, I think it does. And it brings into question, of course, the way they went after Donald Trump, or going after Donald Trump, but have completely let Joe Biden off the hook for all the classified documents he mishandled, not just after he left the vice presidency, but when he was in the U.S. Senate, when he had absolutely no right to access or take these classified documents home with him or anywhere else.
So I'm always trying to piece these things together, and I never know if I've got my finger on the right thing or if I am so far into left field. So that's why I like to ask you these questions so you can straighten me out a little bit. In the documents case with the National Archives, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, we have some new documents that show that there was some, I don't know if collusion is too strong of a word, between the Biden White House and the National Archives there to get Donald Trump. I recall hearing in the Fulton County, Georgia, Fani Willis drama series that we got to watch for a while, that there were questions about people who were going to Washington, D.C. and asking questions surrounding if there was any cooperation or collusion between the Georgia case and the White House. And then also, is it Colangelo in the Bragg trial? There's another connection in that one that takes somebody who used to be in the White House and inserted them right in the middle of this trial. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, don't tell me it's not a duck. What are we looking at here? What are the implications of what we're seeing as far as connections to Joe Biden, the White House, and maybe a larger plan here?
Look, the White House counsel's office apparently has been involved in was also in meeting with the prosecutors down in Georgia. Colangelo, the assistant DA who's prosecuting the New York case, worked in the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, took a pay cut, to go to New York to prosecute this case. The Biden White House's fingers are all over 3 separate cases that are clearly designed to get Joe Biden's rival, the person he's going to be running against in November in the election. And all their denials to the contrary, all the documentation that's coming out, particularly things revealed in the case, the ethics motions filed against Fani Willis show that all of their claims to the contrary, they've been lying about all of this. And it's another sign of the way law enforcement is being abused for political targeting as opposed to an objective enforcement of our laws. And, of course, as you know, all of this is important to certainly this federal case that we're talking about, or classified document. All of this is relevant to the arguments that just finished in the U.S. Supreme Court today. We had almost 3 hours of arguments. They only ended about 45 minutes ago, Annie, over whether a president has immunity from a former president from criminal prosecution. And that's an issue that the Supreme Court's going to decide, and is going to have a huge effect on this case down in Florida.
Yeah. The implications of what the Supreme Court rules, or if they remand it back to the courts, however this concludes, will have a huge effect on Donald Trump. But as Trump has pointed out many times, every president, including the current one, to come, because it's quite a big ruling, and it does change the way a president would do his job if they had to fear political prosecution once they leave office. You know, I'm thinking about tying all of these. When I think about all these cases together, the immunity question that is in front of the Supreme Court today included, I cannot help but every single time go back to the Adam Schiffs and the Nancy Pelosi's of the world when they were impeaching Donald Trump, just beating it into our heads that Donald Trump was looking to dig up dirt on his main political opponent in that perfect phone call with Zelensky, of all people. They impeached him over that because they said that he was essentially trying to interfere with an election, and they're doing the exact same thing to Donald Trump, in my eyes, unless I don't understand it, right now, calculated, perfectly timed right before the election. How could a rational person not see it as politically calculated election interference?
Well, I don't see how they couldn't see it unless they just want to deny reality. In fact, look, you know, I actually wanted to laugh, but it's not really funny. Look, today in the Supreme Court argument, some of the questions that were being asked, particularly by Justice Kavanaugh, were, look, if a president doesn't have immunity from criminal prosecution, a former president, what's to stop politically motivated prosecutors from going after that former president, something that we're seeing right now? And, you know, the Justice Department's answer was, there are all these different layers of checks and balances on these prosecutors, and they have to go to a grand jury. And all I could think about was, at this Justice Department, the layers like Merrick Garland, one of the most politically minded AGs we've had in ages, or, the protections of a grand jury, like the one down in Atlanta, where, remember, the chairwoman was doing all these media interviews, bragging about how great it was to be on this grand jury because they got to interview and indict all these famous people. That's supposed to be the check to prevent bad prosecutors and grand juries from going after people on a political basis? Yeah, right.
You know, especially for the front half of what we heard this morning at the Supreme Court, a lot of the question seemed to surround itself around what determines an official act from a private act. Do you
Yes.
feel like we arrived at an answer to that question today, or is that still to be determined?
No, I think Anna, you've put your finger on how I think the Supreme Court is going to decide this case, because remember, the government, the DOJ was there arguing there's no immunity at all, whereas Trump's lawyer was, I think, taking the much more reasonable approach of saying, look, there's immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts, not personal acts. And as you said, there was question after question after question. Well, how do you figure out whether something is an official act of the president or something personal? And I think what we're going to get from the court, now I would predict, is they're going to say there is immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts, and I think they're going to set out some kind of rule for how to figure out whether something was an official act of the president or a personal act. And I think what they're going to do with this case, I think they're going to set that rule out, and they're going to remand or send the case back to the lower court, the trial court, and say, you need to have a hearing to figure out with this indictment of Trump what were personal acts and what were official acts, and all the official acts have to be stripped out of the case.
So if it goes back, if they set the rule, it gets remanded back to that court, that's going to take quite a bit of time. And
Yes.
I think Andy McCarthy was kind of hitting this hard today on Fox. So I want to give him credit for teeing this question up for you, is that there's this like pressure to get all this stuff done before the election so people can have the information that they need in order to vote in November. But that's kind of a false premise in that the court, the process will take the amount of time that the process needs in order to have justice prevail. And in no way, shape, or form are any of these trials bound by an election date in reality.
That's correct. You cannot allow an election date to prejudice the substantive due process rights of a defendant. And that's what they are trying to do. Let me tell you the real reason they don't want the trial delayed, certainly of these federal cases, because they're afraid that Donald Trump will get reelected and that when he becomes president, he's going to tell the prosecutors to drop these cases. That's what they're afraid of.
And the president of the United States, when he is elected, can just tell them to drop the cases and they're dropped?
Yep. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the top law enforcement officer of the United States. And if he tells the attorney general to drop a case, the attorney general is obligated to do it.
Vote Trump. This is me. Anyway, Hans, thank you. I have like 3 more hours of questions to ask of you, but we appreciate the time that you've given us so far and look forward to talking to you again, because every week there's just this whole mound of stuff. Today, certainly all before noon here in St. Louis even. So thank you for being with us and lending us some of your afternoon. We're really grateful for it.
Sure. It was nice talking to you.
You as well, Hans. Thank you so much. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, former FEC Commissioner and DOJ lawyer. Great to speak to him. His book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. Great reading. Check it out. Learn a little bit about how elections were changed legally in many cases and how they are holding on to that in order to maintain the status quo. Hans wrote the book on it. You should read it. We're going to take a quick break. 7 phrases to make new friends at any age, says Ryan Wiggins in Wiggins America. Next, right here on the Annie Fry Show. You looking to make some new friends? Wiggins has some suggestions for you. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. Stewie is there to make sure that you, when you go to get that mortgage, when you're shopping for a home, when you need to get that pre-approval, it's done right away for you in the way that you need it to be that helps your economic situation the best. The bagel loan, only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, is there to make sure that you don't have to pay unnecessary dollars to closing costs that everybody else is going to charge you for. If you get the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage, no closing costs. $0. That money stays in your pocket. It doesn't get rolled into a loan. You don't have to handle it later. It's not there. And that's only with a bagel loan that is only at Stewart's American Mortgage. You can call him or text him directly at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Tell him, Annie said something about a bagel loan. I'm interested. And he's going to get the process started with you right away. If you are nearing the place where you're looking to make an active offer and get that house done and closed on, did you know he can close in less than 2 weeks? That makes you a more competitive buyer for many sellers as well. You are in the best hands with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. And I myself have done a refinance with the bagel loan twice. I'm an actual customer. I've been through the process, so much so that I went and did it again because it was an absolute no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer for you as well. 314-324-4440. Tell him Annie sent you. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Traffic law counselors is where we go when the police hassle us. Go to 45bucks.com.
This is Mike Carter, founder of 45bucks.com, or as you know it, Traffic Law Counselors. And right now, around tax time, we know folks are taking care of issues that they may have been putting off for a while. Maybe a driving while suspended or a warrant, things that you may have been worrying about for a little while. And we specialize in keeping folks' records clean. They come to us on a Monday, they can't drive, and by the end of that week on a Friday, we've got them back in the driver's seat driving legally. And that's very gratifying. And God forbid you're wrestling with something like a DWI. You can go to DWISTL.com. We got 10 paralegals and attorneys that are working on those cases nonstop, and depositions, trials, hearings, and we can put that to work for you as well. In fact, it's the enduring success of Traffic Law Counselors that has enabled us to be the preeminent DWI attorneys in St. Louis at DWISTL.com. So now you know, if you have a traffic matter, it's 45bucks.com. If you've got a DWI issue, it's DWISTL.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Wait a second. Think twice before signing that petition. That innocent petition is not a replacement for Roe versus Wade. We're talking late term and partial birth long after the baby can feel pain. But that's not all. Signing that petition obliterates parental rights. Worse, it strips away malpractice protections for prenatal care, childbirth, miscarriage care, and all other reproductive health care. So if you or your loved one is hurt while accessing reproductive care, you forfeit your rights to sue. So think twice before signing that petition and support our work at Coalition Life. Coalition Life is on a mission. We're dedicated to helping women faced with untimely pregnancies, providing them with compassionate alternatives that empower them with choices that protect and uphold their rights. Visit coalitionlife.com to learn more, because every life deserves a chance. Paid for by Coalition Life.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Come see our waterfront in Wild Horse Village in the new downtown Chesterfield. You have to see it to believe it, and then you will understand why it is the fastest-selling luxury community in all of St. Louis. Our unique modern designs are like nothing St. Louis has seen. Only a handful of home sites remain. Experience the ultimate lifestyle at the waterfront. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today. Hurry before you miss this opportunity.
Can Trump win New York? Come on, it's New York. It's blanking New York. Can Trump win New York? Yes or no?
That is cultural appropriation.
No, it's not.
That also is.
I'm not listening to you, Annie. This is the way I always talk. You can check the tape. Annie Fryer, YouTube live chat poll. Can Trump win New York? Yes or no? 1247. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Patriot Training Foundation trains law enforcement and military at the region's top facility free of charge. Kim Sainanj here. We're raising awareness for the Patriot Training Foundation's mission to serve those who serve our nation. Visit 971talk.com/care to learn more.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! I can honestly tell you the last time I heard that play, I had a heart attack. I ran around the corner
Brad?
and went, Ethan, you almost destroyed me there. And he was like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, I know, but I had to tell somebody.
I had to blame Ethan anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for
Full
that
disclosure, those two hotkeys are right next to one another on the board.
You know what I would do?
Move them? Yeah. I'm looking at other stuff that I can move out of here that we
Put
don't.
Wiggins America up in the right corner and make it big and a different color.
I'm just sad that I didn't get to see Hans von Spakovsky's face when that played, and he was like, "What the heck is this?"
I know. I had been out there talking, and so I was walking back to my office, and I heard it. I'm like, oh no, did I misjudge the time? Thank you very much, Brad. This is Wiggins America. It is 12:49. These are phrases.
We're done with the time check.
Yeah,
that you can use. I know. I'm very used to it though.
Get on with it.
It's a crutch.
He says it everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I'm going to go to the store. It's 12:47.
Yep. She's like, wow.
12:48. You still haven't told me what you want.
It's really late. I'm going to go to the 24-hour grocery store. These are phrases to help you make friends. So if, for instance, you're walking around the grocery store at 12:48 a.m. and you're like, man, I'm lonely. I need some friends. These are ways to get into great conversations.
These are pickup lines for hookers.
People. You know what? They kind of are. But
are there any grocery stores open at 1 a.m. anymore?
That's a great question. Somebody asked me the other day if I went shopping late anymore, because I used to love it. And I said no, because during COVID, they started shutting down at like 10 o'clock.
24-hour schedules for businesses, I miss that.
I do too. So I don't know. I haven't even tried. Maybe they're open again 24 hours, and I don't know it. I do love sleeping. I know that. So this is the first one. Tell me whether or not you think you could use this phrase to make friends, Annie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm short on friends.
I love your blank. Where did you get it? And you can fill in the blank with anything you want. Anything you want. So this
I
seems...
love your nose. Where did you get it?
Oh. Now I don't know that would make you friends.
Is that different? Oh, okay.
A little bit different. Yeah, I love your some other body part.
Man.
Where'd you get? Did you buy that? Do girls
in the
use
grocery
this?
store at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna go well.
Do girls use this more? Like, oh, I love your, usually some sort of clothing item.
Yeah,
'Cause
but it's usually not used in a nice way.
It's not? Is it like a backward
Have you ever seen
insult?
Mean Girls?
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
whole part of Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, I love your skirt. It's so vintage. And then she talks later about how she uses that to gain control over people. But anyway.
Oh my gosh,
Ryan,
that's terrible.
Ryan's shocked. Yeah, it really do be like that sometimes.
Ryan's
for,
like, you
for
just told me you
girls.
loved my skirt and that it was vintage.
Yeah.
It is. It's
And Ryan's like, I
beautiful.
took it at face value.
It
I got
flows
these at Old Navy in like 95.
with your beard.
I didn't have a beard in 95. I couldn't grow one yet.
I like your beard.
Where
did I get it? I got it at Just for Men. No, if you look, I'm not coloring it. Number 2 is
I
how
was going to say, what'd you do after you bought the box?
yeah, just stared at it.
Hey, I have a whole head of gray hair, so.
I'm coloring in my head. How do you like blank? So this is asking somebody if you're at a coffee shop, it says, you can ask them how they're liking their drink. This is a way to make friends, Brad.
Oh my gosh.
This is why you guys don't have any friends. You're laughing at these.
Ryan, did you read this before you came on the air?
Of course I did.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
I read all these and done most of these. Do you have any recommendations for blank? This is actually one of my favorite ones.
This sounds more like a recipe for small talk. Like
I kind of agree.
How to do an icebreaker, how to talk to somebody.
Yeah. But this is a good one, right? Do you have any recommendations for good books or movies? Everybody's willing to talk about that.
My
Everybody's
answer,
willing.
If a stranger came up to me and asked that, I'd say no. I don't.
Every conversation.
I hate that you're right. If a stranger walks up to you and goes, hey, you seen any good movies? I'd be like, what the heck?
You're
Who are
saying
you? I'm at the library, buddy.
I'm right that would be weird, or that I'm right that I would say no?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Both of those are
yes
true.
and yes thing.
Yeah.
The thing about it is like if you're really going to ask somebody a question, it has to come off as genuine, which if you want it to come off as genuine, you actually have to be genuine. And to be genuine, you have to know a little bit about something. Like it wouldn't make sense to ask you, like, what books are you reading? Because I don't know that you
Because you just
like
start doing a commercial
talk about
for
books.
Yeah, I don't
the
read.
life of human.
Yeah, I would just
Yeah.
start talking
It's
about my
like,
own
Let me
book.
tell you about.
He would
yeah.
go on
I don't
and
read,
on.
I buy, but I write.
Ryan would
But-
go on and on about the life of human, which is his book that he wants you to buy because you can support his family buying, and he won't stop talking about the life of human by Ryan Wiggins.
I
Just
would
go
do that,
on
but
and on and on
I
about the
find
life
that
of
to
human
be shallow. And
by
I wouldn't.
Ryan Wiggins.
The only way that these work is if the person understands that you know a little bit about them. So if you want them to understand that, that means that you actually have to do a little effort, put a little effort in, and learn about them.
Real question: we're all in our 40s here. Are you?
You're darn right.
I hate it. Are we all like you? Probably are. Are
Just talking to Brad here.
Yeah. Are we looking for new friends?
That's the thing that this article says that I found interesting because all of the ways it suggests they're a little awkward. But it says a whopping 58% of American adults report being lonely, and here's the one that really caught me. Every 7 years, people lose half their friends, it says.
Every 7 years? I mean, like, I'm not saying I don't want new friends. I'm not turning that opportunity down, but I'm not looking. It could happen.
Okay.
But I'm not seeking and searching.
We're all about the same age, roughly in our late 30s, early 40s.
False.
I'm just making a broad statement here. Are we maybe in the stage where we are just busy with life and things, and we are not looking for friends? We've made friends, but then maybe do you go back into that phase?
Oh, I'm sure. Because, I mean, with friendship comes commitment. My best friends, I don't see very much.
Me
because
either.
They're doing the same things that I'm doing. Something will come up and maybe you'll be like, oh, hey, you just like continue this never ending conversation where you might drop a funny meme or send a note that, hey, this happened. Or I sent to one of my lifelong girlfriends just the other day, somebody had sent me a picture. They had found a yearbook, and it was a yearbook that my senior yearbook. I hadn't seen it in a long time. And they're like, oh my gosh, I saw this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ooh, will you take a picture of the senior superlative page? And I read through all of them. I was like, I don't think I can post it on social media forever. I don't know that everybody would be okay with like, oh, here were our hopes and dreams 22 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
But it's really funny. And I just texted it to her, and her response was, well, we tried. But I mean, like, it's just a drop. And then we might not text again for months.
It's very true. I just saw a good friend of mine last night. We went to see Veruca Salt, which I mentioned yesterday, but I hadn't seen him in months. And it was
Veruca Salt?
Yeah. And you know what? One of the things I said to him to break the ice, I said, hey, Ty, I'm always looking for new friends to try/do a particular activity. Would you be interested? That's number 7 on the list.
Yeah.
And it just got us talking. It just got us talking. We're like, we're old friends.
You wouldn't have had anything to talk about otherwise.
Right. Yeah, we had nothing to talk about. Blank made me think of you. I've been meaning to reach out. How have you been? I led with that, and then we had a great time.
I'm just saying, seeking friendship, I think you go through periods of your life where you are open to the idea of bringing more people in. I care deeply about the people who are my friends right now. I don't see them very much. I know they feel the same way about me, and if we don't see each other, there's no like, gosh, they haven't reached out, or like there's just, I'm trying to keep my head above water.
One of the best types of friends, and I'm sure everybody's got at least one of these people, is the person you haven't talked to in months or even years at times, and you just pick right back up with them like you haven't missed a minute.
Yeah.
Those people are great.
Yep. And that's pretty much the circle right now.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. You guys can use these if you want.
There's so many friends you can make.
If you don't use these on me, I will still be your friend, but not as good of a friend.
You know what we could do? You could just interview Tyrus. We can come back and see if you can make him be your friend by the end.
Yeah, can I please?
No, absolutely not, because he is my friend. Tyrus, probably. When we come back, don't go away.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
All right, Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group are waiting for you to ring their phone because they want to sit down with you. And when you make this appointment to sit down with the Retirement Advisory Group and Thomas Helbig or Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw, you sit down, you have a discussion, it costs you nothing, and you can leave and have zero obligation to sign up or do anything. But many people who call from the Annie Fry Show and 97.1 are excited to hear what he has to say because he specializes in people just like you. You're right at the end of working. You are thinking every day about retiring and not having to do the daily grind anymore. But you want to make sure that you're ready. You want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. You want to make sure that you make all of the moves, that you might not even know what questions to ask to make the right moves. That's where they specialize. Call them and set up your appointment today at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. Say, Annie sent me. I'd like to sit down with you, and they'll get everything started. RetirementKey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
An immunity claim is in the justice's hands. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. After several hours of arguments before the U.S. Supreme Court over former President Trump's claim he can't be prosecuted in a federal election interference case stemming from actions while he was still in office.
Prosecuting the president for his official acts is an innovation with no foothold in history or tradition and incompatible with our constitutional structure.
Attorney John Sauer echoing the former president's argument that facing possible charges over controversial decisions once out of office will distort a president's decision-making, also taking issue with the specific statutes used in the case.
Such presidential immunity has no foundation in the Constitution. The framers knew too well the dangers of a king who could do no wrong.
Attorney for the special counsel, Michael Dreeben, arguing the court has never recognized absolute criminal immunity for any public official. The former president visiting a construction site early today before heading back to a New York court where his hush money-related trial continues. President Biden, meantime, set to speak in Syracuse, New York, to highlight federal support spurring new computer chip factories. A lot of selling on Wall Street after a bigger slowdown than expected for the U.S. economy, growing at 1.6% in the first quarter. Jared Bernstein, chair of the U.S. Council of Economic Advisors, calls it downshifting.
You know, as you grow at a breakneck pace out of the pandemic-induced recession, we have to settle back into more steady, stable growth. And I think that's one of the things you're seeing in reports like the one this morning.
Bernstein points to higher growth year over year, also telling Fox Business the president will work with Congress to stick to his commitment of not raising taxes on anyone earning under $400,000. This after the American Tax Foundation said letting the Trump tax cuts expire would break that pledge. Right now, the Dow's down 326. America is listening to Fox News.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly to mostly sunny skies going through our Thursday afternoon. Delightful outside, 72. Tonight, clouds take over. Winds increased, but the evening's dry. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder after midnight, 55. Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Friday afternoon, some could be strong, though the focus is well to our west, windy and 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So Air Comfort Service is ready to take your phone call and make sure that you get the very best service when it comes to the new system that you're probably going to have to install in your home. Commercial as well. So if you're looking to do this for your place of business, they can help you there. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. You can save up to $4,200. $4,200 with double carrier cool cash rebates on qualifying systems. That's a huge reason to call 314-513-0091. But you can also qualify for 0% financing up to 72 months. So that kind of gut reaction you have to, oh gosh, tell me we don't have to replace our air conditioner. This makes it a lot more palatable. And you know that you're getting an amazing service with amazing people, an amazing product. You don't have to sacrifice anything to be able to access these rebates and this great financing options. You might be eligible for utility rebates and tax credits also. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
When it comes to senior living communities, you can't beat Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here from my friends at Hampton Manor. This is resort-style living without the resort-style price. Schedule your appointment today at Hampton Manor, and they'll feed you lunch just so you can sample the great food from their personal chef. To get to Hampton Manor, exit Highway 70 at Lake St. Louis Boulevard and go north about a half a mile. You will love this facility. Take advantage of grand opening pricing. Go to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
It was great to see the president come and engaging with the blue-collar worker of New York City. We basically built New York. The union movement has made the middle class. And we are very patriotic union, and we are pro-America. So my members right now, I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of the situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Well, you know him as a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and also host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick. Tyrus is with us now. Tyrus, thanks for being back with us. It's good to have you here.
Oh, always a pleasure.
Donald Trump is stuck in New York City because of one of these many trials that he's facing, but he's finding himself in the different areas talking to non-traditional Republicans, and it seems as though he's getting some response from people in Harlem, people who are, the union strong. Does any of that surprise you?
No, especially because I think everyone can relate to similar situations where they feel like they've been unfairly accused of something or the system has screwed them over. So there's a lot of people that relate to that. And a lot of people are educating themselves on the cases, are like not really sure what the cases are.
Yeah.
In terms of like, they don't sound like crimes. And they don't understand, like we were hearing today, isn't some of the pundits on left-leaning networks, aren't they also guilty of influencing elections?
Yeah. I don't feel like the Democrats have taken the lawfare that they like. It seems as though the Biden administration has had a pinky finger, if not a whole hand, in orchestrating some of this lawfare against Donald Trump. But I don't feel like the messaging is out there that really suggests that Donald Trump is the criminal they're trying to make him out to be. It's like, it's just Donald Trump enough. You're just supposed to understand that he's this big bad guy. That has been enough for a while, but I don't feel like they're pulling this one across the finish line like they're going to need to in November.
Well, they're kind of like, you're holding a non-victimless crime to this level, but somebody punches my grandmother in the head, takes her purse, they're out in the afternoon. So people are really seeing it. There's a huge disconnect with that. And I think that given the fact that they were so adamant about defunding the police, they were so adamant about attorney generals not taking cases, and then you see this one, so it's not too hard to figure out the reason for this is just to have him locked up or have the term. The only way they think they win the election at this point is if this is President Biden versus convicted felon, former President Donald Trump, and that convicted felon is what they're basing everything on.
Yeah. Do you think
and Roe versus Wade?
Do you think abortion is going to be the policy that Biden tries to use to get the victory in November?
Yeah, you see Roe versus Wade up on his campaign thing, and again, on the 5 the other day, I was pretty outspoken about it. I think when it comes down to it, we saw the emotional response, how it affected the red wave, destroyed it, and I think Republicans need to start thinking about, do you want to win the election or not? And I think, like most of us grew up with Roe versus Wade, it has been kind of the staple of the land. I think the Republican Party really needs to revisit that situation. And so, because if you took that away from President Biden, what does he get to run on? If you said, listen, in terms of coming together, President Trump is going to revisit and look at Roe versus Wade. I think that would, one, show that, again, you put him on a hypocritical situation again because they're hypocrites. Here he is willing to say, okay, let's revisit this. It's not flip-flopping if you're willing to look at something what's the betterment overall for the country. And I think if you look at that and from that aspect, you take that away from Biden, what's he running on? Nothing.
You know, Tyrus, I'm very passionately pro-life, but I'm also can at the same time be very realistic about the idea. And I say this as somebody who lives in the state of Illinois, and Illinois is flyover country for big cable networks in many cases. It's got to get real bad here before it gets the attention of doing the same things that California and New York would be center stage for. But in Illinois, when politicians take the super social conservative path in a primary and then in an eventual campaign, they lose every time in a statewide office. Yeah. We have no Republicans anywhere in statewide offices. And if you were to take a more moderate Republican, especially in the primary process, that could actually win portions of Chicago that it would need in order to win the state, we would not have the progressively advanced abortion laws in the state of Illinois that we've lost on every front on this issue that is very important to me. So to your point, I don't feel like I need to compromise my life begins at conception pro-life belief to also at the same time acknowledge that if the way you're fighting is a guaranteed loss, then you have to change up the game.
You have to. And just that word, that putting it on his campaigns, it's literally above his head when he speaks. So that's what the game is running. And I just feel like at some point, that's at least 15 million votes, in my opinion, which is the difference between being elected and not being elected.
So, Tyrus, if you take that arrow out of the quiver for Biden, if you eliminate the abortion one as much as you possibly can and make that effective play from a campaign standpoint, because you're not going to win making that the Republican thing that we beat our fists on the table about. What are the issues that you want to see the Republicans, top to bottom of the ticket, Donald Trump at the top, pushing? Where do they need to have the conversation surrounding in order to get people to maybe lift their heads from where they've thought before about Donald Trump? Maybe I couldn't vote for him before, but maybe in this year.
I think two things will happen if we took that from him. You would force him into debates. Because now he can't run on, I'm not talking to this barbarian, extreme convicted felon. He would be forced to have a debate, which in itself would be game over for the Biden campaign. The Democrats would scramble and maybe even think about trying to replace him and all this other kind of, but it'll be too late for all that. I think that's the big thing. I think it brings it down to the issues, and then he'll have to discuss and debate the economy, because they've been very clever. Like, they don't include groceries and gas prices in saying the economy is improving. Like, they do little things that President Trump will expose them for in a debate, and it will have to be on that stand. So he'll force him out of the basement.
Yeah.
By taking that argument away, because that's going to be the entire campaign, is that President Trump's a convicted felon, and they're going to take away your rights as a woman. That's what they're running on. And it's worked.
When you see President Biden delivering speeches and, telling it and saying out loud pause and, end of quote and all of these things, do you think that changes anybody's mind if they hate Trump enough? Does that matter?
It should. Any other job, he would have been sent home. If he was making announcements at Walmart on sale products and was reading the pauses and the thoughts and
true.
He would have been fired that day. Like, you couldn't tell the difference. So it should scare everybody. The real question is who's writing this stuff for him? That should be the question. Well, because that's the real issue, is who's running the White House. Because it's not the guy who's reading pause. No one would let that guy in. Just take Biden out of it. In any situation, if you had anyone on your radio team who read the directions while reading the ads, how long would you let them do it for?
Right. Yeah, we've said this before. Like, would you trust Joe Biden to get your McDonald's order right?
No.
I actually would bet money that he would get it wrong. I would be shocked if he got it right.
He wouldn't come back. He wouldn't make it.
Sir. Yeah,
or come back with like Wendy's and Arby's and then yell at you
for wanting the wrong thing. Tyrus is with us right now. We have a YouTube poll every day. Today's is you spend time in New York, in New York City. Do you think that Donald Trump can win New York?
No, unfortunately. I'd be surprised. They're just too embedded. And they don't listen. It's not a debate here. It's just like, can he win in California? No, unfortunately. The base is just the base, and they're not great. I mean, would it be based on what's going on in our country? You would think they would want to change across the top. But again, sometimes the tent is way bigger than the window on the tent to see what's going on outside.
I'd look at Joe Biden doesn't have anything to offer. And when I listen to him talk, I listen with that wince that it's just that secondhand embarrassment that
does.
Yeah. And I don't really know when it gets down the stretch, when there's more pressure on, if I don't think he's going to be able to handle that moment. And I think haven't you
No,
said they're not going to debate? No debates?
No, and that they're not going to debate a convicted felon. It's going to be a disgrace to the office of the presidency. I've been saying this for a year and a half now. Like, there's no debate. We might have VP debates, and that won't be much better. But he's going to try to. The Democratic Party is going to try to swing it to where he would be a horrible president to debate. He might as well debate with Kim Jong Un. That's what they're going to do. They're going to equate it to, or knowing them, probably Hitler, because that seems to be one of their magic comparisons, which is uncomparable. But that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're literally telling us that he's going to kill his enemies and then democracy is going to be over. So there's no filter, really, instead of just saying we're going to beat them on the issues, because they're not. They ran their elitist agenda for 3 years now, and the country is not better for it. And they're not going to give that up.
Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, has these stories continue to be repeated, and it doesn't rise to be more important to talk about than immunity hearings at the Supreme Court or Alvin Bragg in Manhattan or whatever it might be. But Christopher Wray keeps saying, in charge of the FBI, we are under an imminent threat. And I wish that we spent more time talking about that. I don't have any information. I'm assuming that you don't have any inside intel on what that threat is. But I keep thinking, like, in the places like New York and in Chicago, and Chicago has shown some eyes wide open about the way that city is being run right now. I don't know if it's going to turn Illinois red or anything, but I'm just asking myself, when I hear the FBI director say there is a threat upon us, what it's going to take for Americans to realize that the person who has his hands on the wheel isn't actually the president of the United States. We don't know who it is. We don't know who's running the show.
Well, we're just speculating, but I'm assuming what he's basically telling us is it's already here, and it's strolled in through the border. And now saying that it's imminent, it's been here. We've been playing fools. They've been doing this for 3 years, the influx in this country. We have no idea who's here. And a lot of times, only when we catch them do we find out the level of criminal that has crossed these borders. And so, again, you can say there's good people, this, that, whatever, but if everyone was getting vetted, we would have a better grip on what's here. So a lot of military-age men, single young men, have strolled into this country with no vetting process, and the FBI is doing the best cover their butt scenario, saying that it's imminent or it's possibly coming. You knew what it was. You guys chose to do nothing. And so is there a cell here or two in New York? I wouldn't be surprised at all. I would not be surprised at all. And then when the how did this happen? That's when I will get upset. You know exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen with the open border?
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. That's for certain.
Yeah. So
before we let you go,
they're telling us they've already peed down our back, and now they tell us there's a slight chance there might be pee.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Oh no, I didn't see that coming. The Boston Red Sox are 14-11. The St. Louis Cardinals are 11-14. How you feeling?
Yep, and we've played in our division one time, and we're swept. So yeah, as long as we keep playing the Pittsburgh Pirates, we're going to look great.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Pittsburgh Pirates
we can play them 100
are not
more times, I think
in
we'll be
last
good.
place in the National League Central Division, and we're not going to talk about who is.
Mark my words. But it's our bet.
Yeah,
You'll see.
Okay, I got the size 8 hat at the ready right now.
Okay.
Tyrus,
All right.
thank you. Talk to you again soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
He's a regular in Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and he's on Outkick, and he has a special stand-up on Fox Nation, Tyrus, with us each week on Thursday. I wish that we had a 14-11 team to complain about. I would rather be...
a 14-11 team with Tanner Houck pitching for it?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy has been throwing really well.
Yep, he threw that really good game 2 starts ago, and he's been fun to watch. Collinsville, Illinois native. All right, let's take a quick break. Ryan Wiggins back in studio. When we come back, your votes on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Can Trump win New York, yes or no? Tyrus, he spends time in New York, and Tyrus says no, but we'd like to know what you think. You can also join us by subscribing on the Annie Fry YouTube channel when you go to vote in that poll, and let us know what you think. A couple comments here I will read from Amy. Says, I voted no. It might be closer than it's been in the past, but the brainwashed libs will override any progress. People would rather complain than fix their problems. Sherry said, I voted no because this is political crime of being Trump and not an actual crime against someone. Sherry, interesting point. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
Oh, I'm trying.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
I'm a bad liar.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan are at 314-324-4440. Let's talk about refinances because as we have seen expenses going up, everything costs more. If you've gotten credit card debt and it is out of control and you're sitting there looking at equity in your home because those prices have gone up, you could consider using a Bagel Loan refinance for that situation. If you need to take some money out, if you want to work your way forward and lower the rate on your home with the refinance because you bought in the last year or two and the rates were super high when you locked it in, and they've come down a little bit since then, call 314-324-4440 and talk to Stewie about how a refinance can better position you and your financial situation for the future. I have refinanced twice with the Bagel Loan and Stewart's American Mortgage. When rates kept going down and down and down, I got myself a really great low rate. And that's true. There were no closing costs. You didn't have to pay the thousands of dollars to go through the process of trying to save money, where it kind of gets you to the point, it's like, why am I doing this at the end? When you go talk to Stewie, he'll explain every bit of it to you so you can understand it to great detail. He did it for me. He can do it for you. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Exactly. But the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too.
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry, it's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, he'd look like me?
Go where everyone goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Quite the Thursday afternoon show. Brian Kilmeade at 3:25. George Gray from The Price is Right playing The Price is Wrong at 4:25. Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe back from the border at 5:07.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I get up, I get down,
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
But I'm thinking it's time to grow. So I got an apartment across from the park. Put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know.
Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Imagine what we could do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Everybody's all bent out of shape about the pause. What about the 4 more years? What is that?
I've never heard that.
That was yesterday.
I'm surprised I missed that.
How?
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years.
He's pausing to imagine what we could do.
4 more years.
Yeah.
For me?
We can do next. 4 more years.
Convincing.
Pause. 4 more years.
Mhm.
I can't believe I didn't see that yesterday.
Does it matter?
Yes, it matters. You mean, does it matter that I saw it or that he
No.
said it?
These are things that happen all the time, and we don't play the majority of them. And I feel like you shouldn't this is not a you thing, but I don't think people should be allowed to vote if they don't know he's doing this stuff.
That's fair.
I think that is fair. And yeah, because I missed this one, but I would have found it by X's and O's time for sure.
Known.
Let me put it to you like this. If you were voting and you voted and you cast your vote and you found out after you vote that for years he was doing stuff like this and nobody told you, would you be upset?
Or if for years you were told that the president was doing things that he wasn't doing, and then you found out that that wasn't true either, would you be upset?
Heck yeah. I can't believe that the mainstream media doesn't play this stuff.
Guys, but Donald Trump fell asleep in court. That shows a clear mental decline.
I need you to create a promo that I want you to sneak onto this radio station that
This
sounds like, yes, and Camel X.
Okay.
If you can make it work. Where you do a promo for this radio show, but you do it like Joe Biden would do it.
Okay.
And then at the end, add, please clap.
Like I'll have our big voice guy
15-second promo. Yes. Yes.
do something like that.
Yes. Pause.
Okay. Promo starts now. 3, 2, and you're listening to 97.1 and just do the whole thing.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Don't tell anybody.
I
Just
can do
sneak
that.
it in there.
Okay.
You've got access.
It will play
the keys.
at 1:32 tomorrow.
No. Don't do it in my show. These people know we're here.
Oh, no. We got to have them in on the joke.
Do it for the people who aren't listening right now, and they only listen on their drive to and from work.
I mean, that's actually kind of a fun idea.
No, of course it is. Don't say actually like it's my first.
I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but you know, the bar's pretty low, but you came in over it still. I like that idea
Sounds
because
like a direct quote from something I've said to you. That's probably fair.
Well, if I wrote it to where it said 3, 2, 1, promo start, you're home for conservative talk, and he went right into it, and then in the promo said, this is a promo written by Joe Biden's teleprompter. Like, people would get it. That actually would be funny. I would do that. Congratulations to you.
Not I would.
There's got to be a Joe Biden AI voice.
I will.
You know what?
We can get an
There's
impersonator
gotta
on
be.
Fiverr. I don't even care. It doesn't even have to be
not
good.
that great, though.
No, it's better that way. They don't have to. They just have to know that we were trying.
Yeah. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Not a joke.
Come on, man.
I accept. Not a joke. Come on, man. Pause. Gosh, I can't believe that. People have criticized. And he was walking around shaking hands with ghosts yesterday, too. I did see that.
What if he really was?
Whoa, maybe
We just
he's
talked
seeing
about this
things.
yesterday.
That's right.
I would be really concerned when he's like looking up, reaching out.
I figured out who's running the White House, Annie.
People in the comments yesterday were making some inferences. Well, we talked for 2 segments about the top 6 things that happen before somebody dies. And I thought, this is not the time or place. It isn't the time or place.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years.
4 more years.
4 more years. 4 more years.
The audience was scripted.
Yeah, the audience knew when they were supposed to come in.
They were the only ones.
They were reading along on the teleprompter.
Yeah, wait
It's
till
like,
he
"No,
says
that's our
pause.
line."
Wait till he says pause, and now. I mean, they were ready.
No, they didn't say wait till he says pause. They were like, wait until he does pause. But he never did because he kept talking.
Pause.
Pause.
Brian Kilmeade was saying before our show started, he was talking about, like, he's like, his people need to take better care of him. He was like, that word pause should be in brackets because that infers that...
It probably was.
That's what his producer said. Allison was like, oh, you know it was in brackets. And then other people are saying, like, they should use ellipses. I think Kim St. Ange said that it should be ellipses. He's going to say ...
Yeah. Yes, he is.
My question is, do his people want him to look good?
Yeah, I think they do. Their jobs are tied to it. They want to keep a paycheck.
I don't think they're going to keep him.
Yeah, that's a good. I don't know. I mean, they're clearly. It's got to be hard because they're probably doing all the things that they should be doing and going to great lengths to make sure that he doesn't wander around the stage, and he's still doing it.
Put dashes, put ellipses or something in there that he can't say out loud. Why do you need to say end of quote? Like, why do you need to have? I mean, it should be for delivery. You give those cues to people who are speaking. I've never had to read off of a teleprompter in front of people. I've given a lot of speeches in my time. My speeches, I specifically don't write speeches because I talk for a living. And if I went in front of you, and Ryan, you've seen me do speeches, Brad, you've seen me do speeches on various things. You see me talk here every day, and you've seen me do speeches. If I were to be reading from a paper, that would be so not what you're used to experiencing from me. So I don't do that. Is it hard to read from a teleprompter? It's a skill that you have to develop. Once you get to the level of President of the United States, should be able to handle that one.
Well, also, look, when you're president, you're reading a lot of speeches. So I'm sure it does get to where you're on autopilot a little bit with these things. But when you have a crowd ready to chant 4 more years, it sounds like that was the purpose of them being there.
Yes.
Then when you hit the line 4 more years, I'm sure once in a while, the temptation is just, your mind's just going, you let it go. But he's done this so many times.
I also question the idea of putting in a pause so that people can chant 4 more years. It should sound like they can contain themselves. They've interrupted you. And you're like, okay, I'll give you this minute.
You know what you need to do is you need to outsmart him. This is what we're talking about. You need to outsmart
With
the
less
president.
letters and more dash.
By
You're going to end up having ellipses and dashes, and he's going to read it in Morse code.
Dude is the dude is reading.
What's he doing? He's sending out an SOS.
That's how he's talking.
Look at the way he's blinking.
Ryan, it sounds like they've outsmarted
nuclear
him.
bombs.
He's reading the prompts. They've outsmarted him.
No. What they need to do is instead of saying pause, just have another line in there and say, I can't even pause here. Like, whoops, you weren't supposed to read that, but if you did, it's okay. Outsmart the brackets.
Why is Saturday Night Live not doing a stupefied Morse code? Where they just try to make him say something super simple with as few letters as possible, and then he just starts reading it in Morse code and sending nukes somewhere. He gave the command. It's time to go.
We passed. We
bombed Fiji.
Yeah,
Fiji? Really? That's what he said. Yeah.
We're funding
Outrageous.
Ukraine. Stop. We're funding Israel. Stop. Wait, what's the president doing?
Full stop.
Yeah, he's reading a telegram. Look at the way he's blinking. Beep, 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 boop, 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 beep, beep,
He
beep.
doesn't blink.
You're right.
He squints.
He just kind of does the stare that goes like the slow turn and pivot,
Oh, yeah.
But you turn your head, right? If you're going to look over there, you're going to look to your right. He turns his whole body.
Yeah, that's the way you turn when your back's real stiff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he's going to look like he just makes his whole body shift to the side that he's going to look at, and it is slow.
Wonder if it's rigor mortis.
I don't wonder that.
No? Well,
now I do. We'll be right back.
Let's go out with a bang.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
With a 1 or a 2. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
Metronome.
Man, I'm up to something. Oodie-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on a budget. So oodie-la-dee-do, yeah, come on.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is located in 3 separate spots in the St. Louis region, but they're also online right now. So what are you doing? You're not working? Go shop for flooring online. You could request an estimate there as well. IGotFloored.com. You've been thinking about that dingy carpet in your home. You want to replace it with something lush and fresh and easy to clean and easy to maintain. Michael's Flooring Outlet has that at IGotFloored.com. Like I said, you can request an estimate there. You can look up the Mohawk Smart Strand silk line. You can check that hardwood, the different types of products that they have, finishes, looks, the maintenance that goes along with each different kind, the technology that has advanced these to be able to live the life that you're going to live on them without having to worry about your investment. All of it is available for you to research at IGotFloored.com. But you can also, if you are at that point in the shopping process, go visit them in St. Charles County and West County and also in Darting Prairie. They care about you as a customer. They want you to be a new person who is going to be giving them referrals, and they've been satisfying St. Louis customers in the bi-state region like yourself for 30 years. Become the next one. Find them online at IGotFloored.com.
Traffic law counselors is where we go when the police hassle us. Go to 45bucks.com.
This is Mike Carter, founder of 45bucks.com, or as you know it, Traffic Law Counselors. And right now, around tax time, we know folks are taking care of issues that they may have been putting off for a while. Maybe a driving while suspended or a warrant, things that you may have been worrying about for a little while. And we specialize in keeping folks' records clean. They come to us on a Monday, they can't drive, and by the end of that week on a Friday, we've got them back in the driver's seat driving legally. And that's very gratifying. And God forbid you're wrestling with something like a DWI. You can go to DWISTL.com. We got 10 paralegals and attorneys that are working on those cases nonstop, and depositions, trials, hearings, and we can put that to work for you as well. In fact, it's the enduring success of Traffic Law Counselors that has enabled us to be the preeminent DWI attorneys in St. Louis at DWISTL.com. So now you know, if you have a traffic matter, it's 45bucks.com. If you've got a DWI issue, it's DWISTL.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not
not be based solely upon advertisements.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $129, and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and book your appointment today. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with Clayman Group, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct and as-is condition with no middleman involved. I recently bought a house from somebody that was embarrassed to let me in the door. There was stuff all over the place and the entire house smelled like smoke. However, we were definitely able to see the potential. We gave them a great cash offer that they were very happy with. So if you have a house that isn't in the best shape, maybe in disrepair, we're interested in making you an as-is cash offer. Please reach out today, KLAMEN Group.com.
The poll today, thanks, Brad. The poll today is, can Trump win New York? Yes or no? We've been weighing in on this. We heard Tyrus weigh in on this, but we want to know what you think. Type in Annie Fry to the YouTube live chat poll. Can Trump win New York? Yes or no? The time is 1:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Are you a business owner? Do you want your voice and the voices of your clients represented? Let us do the talking. Join our community of free thinkers on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Learn more at 971talk.com/partner. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wake me now.
Let me say this very simply. No American of any color or creed should ever have to live under those kinds of threats. That is not who we are in this country. Sadly, Columbia's administrators have chosen to let the threats, the fear, and the intimidation of the mob rule, to overtake American principles like free speech and the free exchange of ideas and the free exercise of religion. They have co-opted First Amendment arguments to protect genocide and to elevate the voices of anti-Semitism. They have proven themselves to be incapable of achieving their basic responsibility, which is keeping students safe. We just can't allow this kind of hatred and anti-Semitism to flourish on our campuses, and it must be stopped in its tracks. Those who are perpetrating this violence should be arrested. And I'm here today joining my colleagues and calling on President Shafiq to resign if she cannot immediately bring order to this chaos.
Boo, wah, wah, wah. I'm so sick of these protesters. I said, and I was wrong, to Brad, well, that Mike Johnson press conference is going to be at 2:45. That's probably, and he goes, yeah, it's probably going to be late. I go, yeah, it'll probably be boring anyway. It was not boring.
Okay.
It was a smackdown, and I appreciated the way that
My
he uses
message to the
words.
students inside the encampment is go back to class and stop the nonsense. Look, if we want to have a debate on campus about the merits of these things, let's do that. But you can't intimidate your fellow students and make them stay home from class. Think about that. Is that right? Do you think that's right? Stop wasting your parents' money.
Stop wasting
Oh,
your
nice.
parents' money. Smack that down, Mike Johnson. You're my speaker for now. I mean, for the time being.
That's a good last line.
I loved it. He didn't have the command. He didn't go out there. And I almost was thinking, I'm kind of glad that he's not super charismatic in his presentation because it was a hostile environment, and I was just listening to it. The protesters, you could hear that they were there. They were listening. They were booing him. Do the booze line.
Your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Exactly. It's the whole point. It's exactly right here. Boo him, you losers. Go. Stop wasting your parents' money. Go back to class. Stop harassing your classmates. These are basic tenets of a civil society, you losers. I'm tired of it.
Do you think there was a parent out there yesterday?
A parrot or a parent?
A parent.
Sorry,
I got a little bit of a sniffle.
I mean, it's probably an emotional
Do you
support
think
parent
there
in
was
that
a
group
parent
somewhere.
out there yesterday? Sorry, I gotta blow my nose.
You know, like the voice that Ryan just did, I said parrot. There was like a whole 12-minute scene that took place in his head before he did that voice. The voice is the part that we partake in.
Yeah.
But there was a lot going on in that split second that made you do that voice.
The voice where I don't have any breathing out of my nose.
The post-nasal
You
drip.
sound like a third grader that's about to sneeze on me. It's like a ticking time bomb.
That's on my resume. Can you be a third grader who sounds like he's about to sneeze?
A
I think I
plus work.
just misgendered
I could be a
myself.
reference on that.
Okay, so I just wonder though,
You can
back
be
to my
whatever you want
original
to be,
point,
right.
that you think there maybe was a parent yesterday who heard who heard Fruit Loops.
I want to just repeat everything you say, but I don't know what it would sound like on the radio.
And you don't know what I'm gonna say yet.
I would, in order to repeat it, I would listen.
Okay, listen.
Listen.
So there was. This is really like the
Game of
point of
Wonders.
this is not going to matter anymore by the time I get to it. I guarantee you that. Yeah. Do you think there was a parent yesterday
Possibly.
who was like, I'm going to tune into the press conference
Saw their kid.
of the Speaker of the House, see what he has to say about all these protests? I think my kid's at one of those universities, and then heard that and went, I should save my money. This is terrible. Why am I spending money on this?
I think
Why am I spending money on this?
Do you remember? It was the Baltimore. I think it was the Freddie Gray riots in Baltimore. I think there was a kid who was out rioting, and his mom showed up on screen and ripped him out of the thing and was hitting him with her shoe or something like that. And it was like, for a moment in time, everyone was like, I know what's going on there. More of it, please. But it did happen.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Mike Johnson's presence at Columbia was important? I do.
I like that he did it. I like that he did it. It's weird because the more you draw attention to these protests, the more they grow. But at the same time, this is the kind of thing that you're like, look, this would probably existed underneath the covers anyway. Now that you're exposing the way you feel, let's get this all out in the open and really address it and address it head on. And that's what he was doing.
Well, yeah, and if they want their voices heard, let's let their whole voice be heard so people can see them for who they really are and the things that they're really saying instead of the media out there shaping the narrative.
More free speech.
Also, politically, this is a moment that if you want to be Elise Stefanik, you're going to win. Like, if you're going to take the side that she's taking or that Mike Johnson is taking here, you win. The country is with you. It is bipartisan. You have a very small group of people who are radicalized idiots who are yelling loud. This is an opportunity for you politically to show, hey, you know what? We're on the right side here.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was pulling audio, I came across a clip, and it was a good video clip, but that's not good for radio. But a CNN reporter was at the USC protest, and some guy with what do they call it, a keffiyeh? The thing wrapped around his face and it was masked, started yelling at him. And he's like, well, why don't you take your mask off and come over here and talk to me? And the guy wouldn't do it. And he's like, just take the mask off. And the guy started threatening him, and CNN had to cut away from it because things were getting too tense.
Have you seen the videos of the protesters? There's young women. The the person's asking them like, hey, what are you out here protesting? They're like, we don't really know. We heard over at Columbia that there were some things going on at NYU and they needed some support. And then one goes, yeah, I wish I was more informed.
Yes.
Like, shut up. Stop talking to the camera. You don't have to be as informed as everybody else, but don't go, I want to be on TV.
Yeah.
In your stupidest moment.
Yeah. I have heard that. And in fact, I think I have it here, Brad.
You're stalling.
You're set.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated. I'm not...
So do your parents who are like, oh my gosh, my kid doesn't know what she's talking about.
She just says, I think I heard something was going on here, so I came. Like that. What are we protesting? I don't know. Do you know? No? Okay. They have no idea.
No.
It's absurd. These people do vote.
Yes, they do.
That you can show up and be as uneducated about who you vote for as you can a protest where you just show up and you're just there.
Yeah, because the cameras, because I think they say either before that or after that, oh, we heard there was a lot of police here, so we came. Well, it's because there's an event happening, essentially, is what you're saying. Like, oh, there's a thing happening. I wanted to kind of be a part of it. What side are you on? Not really sure. I'm on the side that's loud, though.
What was that website? I saw, oh gosh, I go to so many websites apparently. I'm looking at my history. There's like okay, here it is. Crowds on Demand. Have you seen this?
Oh, no.
I'm going to share it here to the live stream so you guys can see what I'm looking at. But this was shared on Twitter, and I saw it there, so I'm putting it on here. Brad, you can maybe feature it or whatever. You can go to crowdsondemand.com, and it says protest rallies and advocacy. That's one subject. Audiences, events, and fan displays is another one. Who we are. Okay, it says Crowds on Demand is your home for impactful advocacy campaigns, demonstrations, PR stunts, crowds for hire, and corporate events. Services available nationwide. We create out-of-the-box campaigns, audiences, and events to make an impact for our clients. Are you looking to create a buzz anywhere in the United States? At Crowds on Demand, we provide our clients with impactful advocacy campaigns and events. We are best known for organizing passionate demonstrations, rallies, flash mobs, corporate PR events, and lighthearted events such as paparazzi, brand ambassadors, and PR stunts. Does this bother you at all? Bothers me.
Included with your event is 1 pallet of bricks.
It doesn't say that. Does it?
I don't know.
Our services are available throughout the United States, so whether you're looking at doing a single event or multi-city campaign, we have the resources available to achieve your goals. We have offices in Beverly Hills, California, and Phoenix, Arizona, with satellite presences across the country. Let's learn more about protests, rallies. What do we have, a minute here? Not even?
Mm-hmm.
Organize rallies and get media attention for your causes and candidates. Whether your organization is lobbying to move forward a healthcare, financial, energy, or other social initiative, we can organize rallies and get media attention for your causes and candidates. I don't know. I wish I was more educated. Shut up.
They gave me this sign, so
If you
thought
need
that
to
was
hire
cool.
protesters, we can get a crowd on the streets sometimes within 24 hours of time.
That's kind of gross.
It's really gross and really fake, and it makes things make a lot more sense. I don't know if this is particularly used for these, but this service is out there, and it's right there on the internet. What services are out there for hire that aren't so boldly out on the internet? We'll be right back.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor. Secure Future utilizes an indexed annuity tied to growth in the U.S. stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. That's right. No matter what happens in the market, your investment can never decline. Down years, you're insured against any losses. Boom years, your retirement account grows exponentially to increase your worth. Whether the market is up or down, Secure Future Investor can set you up with guaranteed money for life income. It's the difference between thinking you have enough money to retire and knowing you're getting that retirement check every single month for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. Over 40 years old? Call now. 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Have you reached out to STS Armory yet? STS-Armory.com. You can call them at 618-931-GUNS. I recommend going by and getting to know Katie and Jesse. Pontoon Beach. It's the corner of Highway 111 and South Drive in Pontoon Beach. STS Armory is a great destination for any Illinois resident, citizen, whatever, who wants to purchase a firearm and wants people they can go to, trust, kind of where people know your name, kind of a place. STS Armory is that for you. You will understand why my family goes there. My extended family goes there. I have family that have done the conceal and carry classes with STS Armory, and they rave about the experience that comes along with partnering up with people who care deeply about what they do, and it shows in their ability to help you with what you need, whether it's getting the FOID card or figuring out how to get your conceal and carry license figured out, or just making a purchase with a firearm. STS Armory will help you. 618-931-GUNS. Online right now at sts-armory.com.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Just how far to go? Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's part of the question facing a U.S. Supreme Court that sounds divided on the extent of criminal immunity for former presidents.
The case in front of the court is specific to an immunity claim made by former President Trump, but justices know a ruling could extend much further.
We're writing a rule for the ages.
Justice Neil Gorsuch questioned Justice Department Attorney Michael Dreeben about the potential for abuse from federal prosecutors for political motives.
For the most part, I believe that the legal regime and the constitutional regime that we have works, and to alter it poses more risks.
Justices also wrestled with the differences in official acts a president does as part of his job and personal or private actions.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. There's no timetable set for the court's decision. The former president visits a construction site a day after President Biden picked up the endorsement of a building trades union group.
The former president was out here in Midtown Manhattan early this morning, greeting and speaking with local union members, construction workers, and a group of supporters. His campaign tells me that the visit was meant to highlight how working men and women across the country, including in the Big Apple, have suffered under the so-called Bidenomics plan.
Fox's Alexis McAdams, the former president, later heading back to court as a New York trial continues on charges of falsifying business records. President Biden is in Syracuse, New York.
My Investing in America agenda has attracted more than $825 billion.
Adding to that, Micron's plan to build computer chip factories with a $6 billion federal boost. New York's highest court overturns the rape conviction of ex-movie producer Harvey Weinstein. Actress Ashley Judd, one of his accusers.
This today is an act of institutional betrayal.
Today's ruling says the judge should not have allowed testimony from accusers who weren't part of the charges. Weinstein remains in prison, though, for a rape conviction in California. America is listening to Fox News.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric. Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes. You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly to mostly sunny skies going through our Thursday afternoon. Delightful outside, 72. Tonight, clouds take over. Winds increase, but the evening's dry. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder after midnight, 55. Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Friday afternoon, some could be strong, though the focus is well to our west. Windy and 75. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
RulerFoods.com. Shopping for your groceries, for your produce, for your fresh meat. Shopping for cleaning supplies for your house. They have a really great bakery section where you can buy delicious baked goods, great breads. They also have all of the canned goods, the boxed foods that you come to expect when you go grocery shopping. It's all there at Ruler Foods. You're not sacrificing anything when you shop there except for the higher grocery bill. That's why my family shops there. The number one reason is because we can save money. And I've mentioned this before. I've got 6 people in my house, and one of them's a 14-year-old boy. And he, has nighttime sandwiches before he goes to bed when he's still hungry. Whole ham sandwiches for a nighttime snack. If you have that in your house, or if you just don't want to spend so much money on your grocery bill, Ruler Foods is there to help bring that bill down every single time you shop. And in lovely, clean, organized experience. You've seen the Ruler Foods near you. You haven't gone in yet, but you're going to go do it now. I promise you'll enjoy the experience. Go to rulerfoods.com.
The cost of education can be a burden. That's why Missouri's Most 529 program was created, to help folks save for their loved one's education. Contributions to Most 529 accounts grow tax-free and are eligible for a state tax deduction of up to $16,000. Families can save for K-12, college, trade, or technical schools. To learn more, go to MissouriMost.org or type Most 529 into your search engine.
Sponsored by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to CleanOrigin.com. We're experts in ecologically friendly lab-grown diamonds. Mention code RADIO10 for 10% off. That's CleanOrigin.com online or one of our retail stores.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
How much are you guys following Kanye?
Oh, man, not much.
Yeah, I stopped right after I saw the Net and Yoo-Hoo thing. I was like, done. This guy is weird.
The Net and Yoo-Hoo?
Was it? Alex Jones? He went on there and he was just, it was a manic.
It was like really.
Yeah, it was a manic
anti-Semitic
tirade. And I'm like, what happened to him?
Let's do this from the Independent. Kanye West confirms easy porn site on the way with provocative tweet.
It's easy, as in the other ones are difficult?
With a Y.
Brad, will you explain this to the old man?
Kanye, yay, Y-E,
Ah.
Yeezy. That's what they call his shoes, too. Yeezys.
He's making a porn site branded after himself?
Yes.
Yeezy porn.
It's going to be him.
I don't know.
Just says it's on the
I
way,
mean,
right?
the people want to know.
Kanye West appears to have confirmed reports that he is setting up a pornography studio. TMZ first reported on Tuesday, 23rd of April, that the controversial rapper was in talks to launch an adult entertainment division of his Yeezy brand with Stormy Daniels' ex-husband, Mike Moz. On Wednesday, West, who legally changed his name to Yay. Kanye.
Yay.
Yay. Meh.
Meh. Meh.
In 2021, shared a video on Twitter with the date and caption, Yeezy porn is blank.
So does this go like right next to his Christian music label? Same building?
I don't know. What do you make of it? Sad.
Yeah, like initial impression is why. But then right after that initial impression is, yeah, okay. Like it seems pretty much par for the course with Kanye. Just the craziest thing, the thing that you would never picture him doing, he's going to do that thing.
Like support Trump.
Exactly.
Which I said at the time, that Kanye West's support for Trump, in my mind, because I didn't believe it and buy into it enough, because it was never, his support for Donald Trump was never more about what Trump represented than it was about Kanye.
Yep.
And that's the consistent thing here, is that Kanye is always about Kanye. But I was interested in it. And, you know, when he said about Candace Owens, I like the way she thinks, or isn't that what the tweet was? Yeah. There are a lot of people who looked at what Kanye was doing and in many ways were inspired by it. I mean, he like ripped himself away from the status quo. He complimented Candace Owens. He came out with an album that has a lot of Jesus music on it, and it's got some really good, like, Christian-centered music on it. I've played it on the show before. But it was always a little too self-gratifying in my judgmental, like, just as a consumer opinion, for me to be like, Kanye is it. Like, this is, like, we need to follow this guy. I mean, and the entire time he was supporting Trump, he was also talking about his own run for presidency.
Right. Which
was kind of the thing that made me go, this isn't all about that. It's riling up a lot of the right people, but I'm not a huge into the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing. That's not principled in my idea or in my mind. So I think it's really sad to watch this play out. I think that he has, I haven't paid any attention to him since, like the Alex Jones thing, I think was already too far into me choosing to not pay any attention to what he has to say. But this is the complete 180 from where he was before to come out with a pornography site, because his whole thing with Kim Kardashian and his daughter was that he didn't want his daughter to be put in a position to be sexualized and wanted to protect her from all of that. And I agree with all of that stuff. But now you're going to do this. So, if he's somebody who is experiencing mental episodes that are outside of his control, he's certainly being enabled, but he's still responsible for his own actions. So
I remember when that Christian album or whatever it was from Kanye came out, because you played a couple songs here. I mean, it's newsworthy, so of course we were going to play it. It was a crazy thing happening
Kanye
at the
West
time.
was supporting Trump, talking about modesty, and making Christian music.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you almost have to cover that no matter who you are, let alone us. And we were like going, what in the world? So, but I remember playing that, and it may have even been like a poll question of the day or something. If it may, or it was before we were doing that. It was right around when we started, where you were asking, "Do you believe Kanye?
Like, is it legit?"
Yeah, it was something like that. And I remember at the time thinking, I hope that I can.
You want to,
but I just don't know. And it's because of stuff like this. I will say though that Brad and I were having a conversation probably yesterday afternoon or the day before, and for whatever reason, Andy Kaufman came up.
Yes.
You remember this?
Yes.
I don't know what we were talking about, that we
Cheap
started
jokes.
talking about Andy Kaufman and the fact that he was willing to go out of his way to just do the most bizarre artistic things. There's an element of Kanye that does that I wish more artists would do. He's taken it to a level that I'm like, I don't really know what to make of it, which
Well,
is
it's like
maybe the point.
the only purpose is shock.
Yeah, and if you get to that point, then you have to have some substance under the shock too. But I do wish that more artists would be willing to be risky, because it feels like we're living in a time when the only risk that artists are taking is, and you've said this before, stand-up comedians. They're going against the grain a little bit, and they're pushing the boundary to see how far they can go.
One of the quotes in this article on The Independent says, the article says, the news of West's latest endeavor will come as a surprise to some, after the rapper also claimed in 2022 that pornography addiction destroyed his family. And then they quote him saying, Hollywood is a giant brothel. Pornography destroyed my family. I deal with the addiction. Instagram promotes it. Not going to let it happen to Northie in Chicago, his kids. He said of his children in an Instagram post. I mean, like, that's why you can't hang your principled ideals on an influencer, which is what we used to call people celebrities. Now they're influencers. You can't be like, see, look at Kanye. Because what Kanye would have been espousing at that point in time is a reflection of something that is principled, that is outside of and before and after Kanye. The principle is still the principle. The idea that we should glorify God, that's a principle I believe in. That's a fleeting principle that Kanye believed in. If we intersect in that moment in time, the principle is upheld. If we are not intersecting, the principle still exists. And you can't, like people talk about celebrities and athletes a lot, are like, I shouldn't have to be a role model for kids. I got in this to play basketball. I got in this to play football, hit baseballs, whatever it is. I didn't get into this so that I could be a role model for kids. Now, you do need to understand that kids are always watching you. And then depending on what kind of integrity you have or crap human you are, you can do with those youthful eyes and that youthful gaze in whatever way you want to. But Taylor Swift's on TMZ right now, so of course she is. It's another prime example of something like that, where I have defended Taylor Swift. I think she's an incredibly brilliant businesswoman. I think she's a talented writer. I think that she is her words are what she writes from words are talented. I think that she writes very talented, catchy songs. I don't think that she's a phenomenal singer, but I also don't think she's a terrible singer. I don't think that that's her draw. I think she has a very impactful way of telling stories that are not her stories, because when she tells them, they feel like your story or my story. And so it becomes relatable. People want to be attached to it and associated with it, whatever. I heard you guys talked about Ryan Recker, or with Ryan Recker, you talked about Taylor Swift a little bit. And I'm only bringing this up because we're talking about Kanye, and I almost feel like it would be irresponsible for me to not bring up Taylor Swift in the same context, because I've told my kids, you're not listening to her new album. She has a channel on Sirius, and I've listened to her songs on a 25-minute car ride where it's just song after song after song. I don't know that it's in any order or whatever. I could not tell one song from the other.
That's funny.
I mean, and I know that a lot of people would say that about Taylor Swift, like, they all sound the same. They don't. Her songs don't all sound the same. And her, to use her phrase, eras of music are incredibly different. She's got kind of a folksy kind of music. She's got strong pop music. She's got country music, whatever. But The stories in the anecdotes that I was able to listen to myself are just soulless. It's vapid. The songs that I listen to back to back to back, because I know that my kids are, Taylor Swift's new album out. It's double the songs that people thought it was going to be to begin with. And of course my kids are going to want to listen to it. And what I do is I try to consume it before they do so that I can say, this is why you can listen to it. This is the parts that you can listen to, or this is why you're not listening to it. And everything, 100% of what I heard felt hopeless and not intended, not written for my children. And Taylor Swift has the right to the ability, the privilege to write music for whomever she wants to. She can write a whole album just for herself. She's literally a billionaire. If she wants to put out an album and do it because that's what she wants to do, she has absolutely earned that right. But I felt like the consumption of the music that she put out this time was specifically to say, I can do whatever I want. I can tell whatever story I want. I don't have to fit in any single one of your boxes. I can tell a story like the Fortnite one, which is with Post Malone. It's just about neighbors who live next to each other, who are incredibly unhappy in their marriages. They have like a 2-week affair. They hate each other's spouses because the other person's spouse is kind of in the way of what they want. And then the neighbor Post Malone, the neighbor moves away to Florida, and then she just hates life. Why does my daughter need to hear that?
Yeah.
She just doesn't. Is that a real story? Is that something that there is a 37-year-old woman or a 40-year-old woman out there who can relate to? 100%. I don't really feel like when you heard that song, you'd be like, she sees me. I maybe you would. I don't know. I'm not in that situation. But I'm just listening to it going, what is this for? And if the answer is, it's not for me, and it certainly isn't for my daughters, just no. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out there and try to Taylor Swift does not care what I think. I still think she's a smart businesswoman. I've read some of the other lyrics, and then I've heard some of the other lyrics. She is, again, and this is the whole point. I should have said this earlier. When Kanye is out there talking about God and writing Christian music or God-centered music and talking about modesty and how you should be the protector of your children, those are good things. But they are not good things in any way, shape, or form because Kanye said them. When Taylor Swift is out there talking about young girls and relating to young girls or college-age girls or 30-year-old girls or whatever, and it hits and it makes sense, that's good, that's fine. Whatever kind of empowerment she's handing over when she's doing that, I'm all for that. I want my daughters to have somebody who they can look up to and see, like, this woman did it, this woman did it, this woman did it. First and foremost, that's my job as her mother to make sure she has somebody to look up to who knows how to show her what the priorities in life need to be. And when I fail, which I do all the time, to explain that I'm a failure in these regards, I'm also forgiven and I'm going to work to be better. But if you use a Taylor Swift to exemplify things that are good and right, Taylor Swift is going to let you down every time. If you use me as somebody to show your child, or for me to show my child, like, this is what you need to do to be good and right, I am going to let you down. I guarantee you I'm going to let you down. Probably way more frequently than I even want to admit. So where do those principles and morals come from? It can't be Kanye West, because Kanye West is going to create Yeezy porn. And that is like the most dramatic example of what we're talking about that I can think of. But if Taylor Swift lets you down, of course she was. We all let each other down. The principles, the priorities, the values that we have to come from something bigger and more important than some influencer who is always selling you something. Every single time. Yep. And for this album, for the Taylor Swift album, it's a huge disappointment for me. I don't think that the music is that great. Songs do not distinguish themselves from one another. And it's just so like vapid is the best way I can describe it. It's just sad. It's very blah to depressing. But I didn't need Taylor Swift's album to be great. I'm just going to move on, and so are my kids.
Yeah, the truth exists outside of a person or even the idea of a person. You know, I mean, these things are public personas of people, but the truth exists outside of them. So whether it's somebody who's going to constantly let you down like Kanye West, or whether it's somebody who you're like, actually, that person's done a pretty good job, like Kirk Cameron or something, you know? Like, regardless, you're not believing in a person. Those ideas exist outside because the truth exists outside of a person.
Yeah.
And it has to. Otherwise, you're constantly going to judge truth based on your own feelings, the way that things are happening to you, your own experiences, and maybe others, when that is not the case at all. The truth has to exist outside of you.
I honestly have a pretty hefty level of pity for Kanye West because I feel like that dude needs help, and he's maybe too big to fail in the dollars and cents of it. Like, I don't know how you influence that person and help get them the help that they need.
Yeah, he's probably surrounded by a whole lot of people who just give him a thumbs up to whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. Let's when we come back, let's talk real quick about the YouTube live chat poll. I'll see if I can find something fun for us to talk about as well, outside of easy porn. Can Trump win New York? That's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. If he could turn the state of New York red, he's going to be spending a lot of time there. What do you think? Has Joe Biden, has Governor Hochul, have the people of New York had enough of the Democratic policies that are dragging it down? And could Trump be the solution for it? On the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can vote, leave a comment if you so choose. We'll be right back.
I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group is there to help you walk through the end of your career into retirement with confidence. That's a huge, huge thing. The second that you realize, I think we got this. I think we're ready to do this. It's almost like it's Christmas Eve. Christmas morning is coming and you're so excited because you've worked really hard. You've prepared. You've sacrificed. And you've done the things you need to do. You've prepared for this moment, and it is upon you. Retirement is an exciting time, but if you don't make the right moves, it can be a time that puts a lot of anxiety on your shoulders. Get rid of that with a worry-free retirement that is ushered in with Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group. When you go online to retirementkey.com, you can learn about what they offer, the services they offer, but you can also just call them. Tell them Annie sent you for no cost, no obligation retirement review and see what they have to say. And if you're done, it doesn't cost you anything. If you're not interested, you don't have to do anything. You just move on. If not, you have all the information you need to make an educated decision. 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
All right, football fans, the NFL Draft is almost here, and the free Odyssey app brings you the latest coverage from the biggest sports radio stations across the country. Which players will help your team the most? Who will make a draft day trade? Will they be ready for week 1? The local conversations about the team you love. All on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Download it today.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor, and Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property with forestry mulching. If invasive plants and trees have overtaken your land, Missouri Brush Control will mulch vegetation where it stands with specialized equipment that is efficient and eco-friendly. Selective land clearing like this can help you maximize your property's value. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. Check out our website or Facebook page for before and after photos and videos of our projects. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at GSLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk is online, and you can stream it on your phone anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Just download the Odyssey app, and 97.1 is one button away.
Oh, yeah.
97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hello, Trisha.
Hello, Annie and crew.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, what's going
Hi,
on?
Trisha.
Oh, hi, crew.
Thank you. You can call me Jay. J Crew. It's a brand.
Are we going to keep going?
No.
I said hi like 3 times. I thought that was about
Okay,
2 times too many.
I'm going to move on here. Star Wars novice sought to watch 9 films for $1,000. The website Finance Buzz is seeking someone who has never seen a single Star Wars movie to watch every film in the Skywalker saga for $1,000. We're looking for someone who's brand new to the franchise, a first-timer to the Force, a true young Jedi, to rate and evaluate the saga from an outsider's perspective. Applications are being accepted through May the 4th.
Cool.
May the 4th be
Freaking
with
May
you.
the 4th. Do you know that my 7-year-old's daughter, she's going to turn 8 on May 3rd? And I specifically had her induced on May 3rd so she wouldn't be born on May 4th.
So you wouldn't have to hear that her entire
Facts.
life.
Yes.
Wow.
My dad was adamant that we wait for September, May.
This is a long
Wow,
wait.
that is a long wait.
He's so demanding.
Your dad's like, you can keep her as
I need her to be 30 pounds at birth, minimum.
He wanted me to wait until May 5th. So it would be Cinco de Frio.
So you're like, anytime before this.
Change the birth of your daughter so that I can have this phrase.
I think she was due on May 8th. And so I was in the clear at 49. How many weeks? 39 weeks. Gosh, it's been a minute. I've done it so much. My children have sucked all my brain cells out of my body. But no, it was wait until May the 5th. At risk of going into labor on May the 4th. And I was like, absolutely not. Get this thing out. She's born on May 3rd.
My question was, are you okay with Star Wars?
Yes.
That's for Brad.
But
We all like it. We
Yeah.
all like it, Brad. Not that much, though.
no. I don't have a problem with Star Wars. My kids like Star Wars.
Brad's just chomping at the bit to get in here.
Yeah.
My children, multiple, Jensen couldn't care less, but my son and my oldest daughter like to watch Star Wars together. My husband is indifferent completely. My dad watched them. It was like you hear about the people who saw them in the 70s and 80s.
Yep. Early
Late
80s, late 70s.
Come out and like the huge deal that it was. So I grew up with those original ones as like a staple in the household. But as it is with anything, there is a point at which I'm okay with being a big fan. And then you cross over that and then I'm like, okay, this is where I part. You do you, boo.
There's some guy who's 55 years old who has never seen one of these because he's like, I know that this is going to pay off someday.
One day I'll make $1,000.
I'm going to make $1,000 now.
It seemed kind of low to find the one guy that hasn't seen them.
Yeah,
Seems like something you'd do, Ryan.
It does seem like something I'd do and still declare it a victory, even though I was embarrassed about it. Thank
Brad,
you,
do you want
Brad.
to say anything about this?
No, I just don't like the Disney trilogy. Other than that, I like Star Wars.
You ain't the only one.
Yeah.
He approaches it so academically. We're like, this guy's a dummy. He's going to get
Brad.
$1,000. And Brad's like, well, I enjoy the
Actually. New Orleans restaurant puts cicada salad on the menu.
You can put your pipe down now, Brad.
Here we go.
Yeah.
like smoke. Well, anyway.
You aren't supposed to smoke in here.
Oh, sorry.
Put this next story in your
pipe.
pipe and smoke it.
What?
How do you talk about the non-crack pipe? Like if you say if I mention pipe to my kids, I don't know that they would even think. Like nobody smokes a pipe anymore.
Except for Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Only when I'm trying to be intelligent.
If you talk about pipes, like I think that it's just known that you'd be talking about crack pipe now, right?
I think if I just say
over a-
pipe, my kids are probably thinking like
Nintendo Super
no,
Mario.
not even that. They're probably thinking like, oh, let's flushing down the toilet pipe. You know, I don't think they're thinking
Your
like
kids
smoking
aren't
a
thinking
pipe.
crack.
I don't think they're thinking about crack.
If I was talking about smoking a pipe,
Okay.
My mind goes to a weed pipe first. So I don't know with weed becoming more common if I'm alone in that, and if I am, then I didn't say it.
I'm gonna just be honest, no, and tell you I didn't know you could smoke weed from a pipe.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about weed.
She's familiar
But
with.
I know a lot about crack.
She's familiar with a
No.
marijuana cigarette.
I've just seen too much of Hunter Biden's laptop, and I'm not proud to say
Fair
it.
point. Fair point. We all know more about crack than we should these days.
But is there a word for that pipe?
I think it's just a pipe. Tobacco pipe.
Man,
yeah,
that's a shame.
tobacco pipe, corn cob pipe.
Yeah.
But those are the corn cob.
Button nose.
Like Frosty the
Two eyes
Snowman?
made out of coal.
Shut up.
Getting a lot of mileage out of this
pipe, I don't
story.
know.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, we didn't prepare.
I didn't either, so this is great. Keep going.
Anywho,
New Orleans restaurant puts cicada salad on the menu.
Ah.
Here we go again. Ahead of the emergence of trillions of cicadas, a restaurant called Audubon Insectarium in New Orleans has long served up an array of alternative insect-based treats at their Bug Appetit Cafe overlooking the Mississippi
Bug
River.
Appetit.
Bug Appetit Cafe overlooking the Mississippi River. They're going to add a new salad to the menu here shortly.
That's not even a play on words.
But we've discussed
Yeah,
that.
that's the problem with the story. Thank you for pointing that out.
We've discussed not wanting to eat bugs, but since the story is in New Orleans, I'm wondering, are you okay with Mardi Gras?
I've never been. I know it's a huge. St. Louis is the second biggest in the probably world. Never been. I have been in New Orleans in high school. We went for a youth gathering.
It's a weird place to gather as youths.
It's the right place.
That is a weird place to go. Let's have our youth conference there.
Lutheran Church Missouri Synod is having their youth gathering in New Orleans again in 2025. Which is gonna
I've
be
heard
interesting.
New Orleans is incredible.
Yeah, it was fun. It was in the Superdome. Is the Superdome still there?
I think so.
Is that still, it was pre-Katrina that we went to do this youth group thing at the Superdome. Might have been like 2001, maybe. I think they go every 3 years. And it was crazy to have been in the Superdome and then watch Katrina happen and then to have been in these places. But I love New Orleans. I don't Mardi Gras. That's a lot of people. Go back to Wiggins America where Ryan was telling us how to make new friends, and I was like, why do we need more friends?
Mhm.
And then you add in Mardi Gras. It's like a little too much for me.
I'm really good.
Yeah.
Somebody might try to touch you.
You could
hug
walk
ya.
up to somebody at Mardi Gras, for
And say,
instance.
how would you
and say,
approach them
I've
at Mardi
enjoyed
Gras?
getting to know you. Let's make plans to hang out more often.
That's the first thing you say.
They will not remember.
That's
if
number
you meet
5
them at
on the
Mardi
list.
Gras.
And they'd be like, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend. I love you.
Yeah, woo, beans. I was pulling my shirt up. You couldn't see that on the radio.
Yeah, I could see it here. It was terrible.
So we're okay with it, but not for us.
Yeah, go have fun, people.
By the way, if you're gonna smoke a pipe, why would you smoke a corncob pipe? Because the purpose in smoking a pipe is to look intelligent.
It's not true.
No, the purpose of smoking a pipe is to smoke tobacco.
No, it's
and the
to
people
look
that smoked out
intelligent.
of corncob pipe. Hold on, let me get my pipe here. The people that smoked out of corncob
I
pipes
really
were the
wish you'd
people
stop
that lived
doing
on
that
farms,
inside.
and they made their own pipes, and that's how the corncob pipe came about.
Back then. But now you
Now-
don't have to do that.
It's not really
You can
that
just go to
popular
a
now.
pipery.
I don't have it. Don't look at me, Trisha. I got nothing.
All right.
A pipery, he said.
You okay, Annie?
No. Don't bring my name into this nonsense. Hey!
There.
Tourists mauled while taking selfie with a bear. 2 Scottish tourists in Romania came across
Good thing it wasn't a local.
across a couple of brown bears and decided to stop their car to get a selfie.
So they got out of their car.
Actually, they didn't. Here's the quote. I thought he wanted to be friends. The bear came.
What
and
did you say to him in order to make friends, Ryan? How did that go?
He said, number 4, it was great to meet you. I'd
like,
love to stay in touch.
Bear,
if you're
hold on,
open
just
to
a
it,
second.
how would you like to stay connected? Mr. Bear?
And then
the bear came, wanted to get in the car,
Mm.
but instead of being friends, he started to get in the car and bit one of the humans.
And they died?
No, non-life-threatening injuries. They're fine. They're dumb,
They're not
but
fine.
they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, they have to go on existing.
I like how it
this,
says
but-
the bear wanted to get in the car, which kind of tracks with the do you want to be friends thing, when really what the bear wanted to do was look for food that
was
could
eat
include the
them.
humans.
Mhm. Yeah.
Play
My
stupid
question
games.
is, Annie, are you okay with gummy bears? I don't
No.
know.
What?
No? You're not a gummy bear fan?
I thought we were friends. Blake made me think of you. I've been meaning to reach out. How have you been?
Gummy
I said
bears.
that to you today. I said many of these friendship things to you today, and then you do this to me?
Do you remember yesterday when you said you were going to do this story today?
Yeah, I
and do you
did.
remember the phrase I would say if someone came up to me and was like, hey, do you want to be friends?
I don't remember.
Well, I
What'd you
can't say it on the air. Do you remember?
No,
I remember
once
the
you say it,
phrase.
I will. I don't
Yes,
remember.
I got to
it.
hit the dump button if she
2
says
words.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Fart, no.
I didn't say that.
Florida iguana gets stuck in a water slide. Lays 30 eggs in a resort swimming pool.
What? Wait, who? What was it?
A female iguana was recently removed from a Miami
I'm
resort
going to
swimming
send
pool
this to my sister-in-law. She hates anything lizardy.
after laying more than 24 eggs on its water slide.
Mm.
Humane Iguana Control was called. They got the
Iguana
iguana.
Control?
Yeah, Humane Iguana Control was called, and the iguana and her eggs were removed safely. Fun fact, iguanas have become more invasive in South Florida and can lay up to 70 eggs at a time.
How big are they?
A little,
Really?
like birds' eggs, I would say.
So
from
not
the
like
picture.
not like a frog egg would be just like little bubbly.
No,
like
it's
boba.
more like if you saw like a nest of birds' egg that was just like sitting at the bottom of the swimming pool.
Another fun fact, when you lay eggs on a water slide, they don't stay there.
They go right down, but the iguana
end up
did.
at the bottom of the pool.
Where do you lay your eggs, Ryan?
She appeared to be stuck in the filter while the eggs were at the bottom of the pool.
Okay.
Interesting.
I tried to lay an egg on a water slide once, and it was not an egg.
Did you poop on one? Why are you laughing so hard? Stop.
That's a
It was
picture of
not
myself
funny for the other
squatting
resort
at
goers.
the top of a water slide. Told everybody, don't worry about it. I'm laying an egg.
He's gone. He's gone.
He is gone. I also cannot go back to that resort. Annie, are you okay with iguanas?
As long as they're not by me.
Okay.
Kind of like Ryan. Trisha's giving me the rap sign.
I don't have anything that's going to top that
Can
poop
we
story.
can we also just point out that all day today, Fox News has been covering in the morning the Supreme Court stuff, and in the afternoon, this New York, the Alvin Bragg case, and there has been this, their commercial breaks have the commercials up there, but they have a picture of a building in New York City.
Yes.
And it says New York v. Trump continuing coverage. And I'm just like, is New York City going somewhere during this commercial break?
You got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I don't know what the equivalent of that is to radio, but whatever it is, give me some suggestions. We'll put Ryan on it.
There's a producer going, hang on, the shadow on the building's moving.
It's like a sundial to tell you what time it is
What
in New York
could
City.
possibly happen with that image?
Poll question results when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
TheDiamondShop.net, the website, is there for you to shop around, but also when you scroll to the bottom of the Diamond Shop's website, TheDiamondShop.net, you can sign up to become a VIP. Why sign up to become a VIP? Well, the answer is obvious, because you save money. Isn't that the best reason to sign up for these things? 10% extra off with the VIP special here in April. Right now, we've got April 25th. It's the perfect date, by the way. April 25th. 40% off all color stone jewelry through the rest of the month. Time is running out. 30% off all in-stock jewelry as well. And then when you do become a VIP, you tack on an extra 10% off and you save on something beautiful for somebody you love, which could be yourself, of course. They have a longevity that speaks for itself. They have generational customers, people who go with what mom and dad and grandma and grandpa shopped at. 1910 is when the Diamond Shop came to St. Louis, and they've been making customers exactly like yourself happy ever since. You can visit them at their location in Clayton, and a reminder, you can get 6 months same as cash financing on your purchase at the Diamond Shop, online at thediamondshop.net.
At Lakeside Renovation and Design, our secret sauce isn't just the tools we use or the materials we choose. It's our people. We're not just builders. We're local craftsmen, highly skilled in our trades. Our team takes immense pride in transforming homeowners' visions into reality. We're not just in the business of remodeling. We're in the business of making homes more beautiful, comfortable, and valuable. What sets us apart? Integrity and honesty. Our craftsmen exceed expectations because we care. Lakeside, where every nail, every cut, every detail is a testament to our commitment to you.
If you're looking for a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. It is resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take Highway 70 to the Lake St. Louis exit. Schedule your appointment today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you didn't vote in today's poll, you just forget about it. You turn the channel, you forget about it. Can Trump win New York? Yes or
Don't tell
no?
people to turn the channel.
I want to participate in the poll.
Hey,
Otherwise, you just get out of here, okay? Just forget about it. Get out of here. Can Trump win New York or not? Yes or no? You got
Have
to
you
let
ever
us
been to
know.
New York?
Yeah, I was there for like a day and a half. Picked up this accent. I wasn't born with this. It's the Andy Fry YouTube live
Maybe he's
chat
born with
poll.
it.
Maybe it's Maybelline. We don't know. We don't know if Maybelline or if I was born with it. 247. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting ready to go here for a Thursday afternoon. Supreme Court arguments on the Trump immunity issue. We'll run those down, and we'll be visited by Brian Kilmeade. I'm sure he'll have something to say. He joins in at 3:25.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Two eyes like the sun. Go ahead, keep your distance from me. Soon you're gonna call.
When you flick your hair like you don't care, and you ask me where I'm from.
That game that you're running, baby, you've already won.
I need to know what you need what you like.
'Cause I'm gonna be it tonight. You could be cool.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Gosh, I pretty much got nothing. There's a lot of talk about pipes going on in the YouTube live chat.
Is there? Ooh, I missed that.
How
Kinda
much on a
interested.
scale, like, if you were to grade your knowledge of weed and marijuana usage, Ryan, what kind of grade would you give yourself?
Compared to you?
No,
a 10.
no. Just,
Compared to anybody?
yes, society.
A 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, I know.
Probably accurate.
Yeah.
Brad?
I'm very low on that scale.
You're really going to make me answer this question? Probably
expert.
An A minus.
An A minus?
Yeah.
From what? From
Family.
Like understanding being around people who are like that.
A lot of friends that were potheads.
What I know, oh my gosh, by the way, go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Can Trump win New York? Because it is close. You have the ability to affect the outcome. What I know about weed is the incredibly intrusive and disgusting confrontation that happens everywhere I go when you're just minding your business and you're like, oh my gosh, that's right, that's legal now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how frequently, if you're consuming it, I mean, the only way you're smelling it is if it's being smoked.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if I'm grading myself, I'm an F minus
Mm-hmm.
on understanding and knowledge. And when it came to the questions and the decisions on legalizing it, I couldn't intellectually argue one way or the other. I did research on it because I was trying to come to a place where I would have an answer on this question, because I have an answer on a lot of every question, but I didn't have one on this. And the more I researched marijuana and the uses of it, both medicinally and recreationally, I cannot look at marijuana and say no, and look at alcohol and say yes. Alcohol seems to be much more destructive than marijuana when abused.
I understand.
And alcohol is legal. So I kind of feel like if at the end of this, what's going to end up happening is prohibition. It's going to be my fault. I don't want to be that person.
We tried that already.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No.
So I don't know what it is, but before weed was legal, if I'd walk past somebody and smell it on somebody, which was less frequent, by the way.
Yeah.
I would be like, that guy's doing something there. I know what you're doing. Now I walk past somebody and I go, ugh. Like I totally turn my nose up now that it's legal, which doesn't make any sense. But it was like you were outlaw before, and now you're just smoking weed because everybody smokes
Well, the
weed.
libertarian argument for it was always it's just me, and it's only me. I'm only bothering me, and what do you care? And for that, I'm like, well, you got a point.
Mm-hmm.
But like last Friday, my wife and I went to a show at the pageant, and we couldn't walk down Delmar Avenue or is it Boulevard?
What are you looking at me for? I don't know.
We couldn't walk down the loop without smelling pot. The whole thing smells like pot. I was going home one day from work, and the dude's car's sunroof looked like a chimney from the amount of pot that they were smoking. It's so intrusive that, no, it's not just you. You're bothering people.
So the usage, like the legal application of it, I don't care I mean, I really, if it's not my problem, I really don't care. I can see somebody who's throwing their life away on alcohol, on hard drugs, on weed.
Yeah.
I can watch you throw your life away and go, that's a shame. I also don't want my tax dollars to go pay for your college degree that you're not using because you'd rather be at home smoking dope or whatever. But there are ways, if you feel like you need that, or if you feel like, it doesn't even have to be a need, because from what I understand, is it recreationally legal in both places?
Yep.
Missouri and Illinois? So, okay, you want to, you don't have to have a, actually, I kind of think it's worse if you have, an anxiety need to drink a beer. If you just want to drink a beer because, you like beer, and it relaxes you a little bit, and you just enjoy it, and you're doing it responsibly, and it's not affecting anyone else, what does that have to do with me at all? It doesn't. But I don't want to smell it all the time when I'm driving down the highway.
Yeah.
That's why is it that is allowed? And how would you even, literally police the puff of smoke that you drive through down the highway? How do you do that?
Yeah, I know. And to the libertarian argument again, if you are in a building, usually if you live in a building that other people are in, you are not containing the smoke to your room or to your apartment.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Whereas alcohol, it will. I can't smell the alcohol coming out of your room. I can definitely smell the pot coming out of your room.
Mm-hmm.
And if I live a floor above it, I'm smelling it all day.
Or down.
Below it. Either way.
Or if I work below it.
I guess it depends on which way the person blows the smoke. Up or down.
I struggle with it because until it was legal, it was never my problem.
Yeah.
And now that it's legal, it's like you can't go out into public and be around people. I mean, it's 50% of the time. My kids even know.
Oh, mine too.
But wasn't that the agreement? We won't make it your problem. Just let us do it legally. We won't make it your problem. And it is our problem now. It is something that we have to deal with. It's an inconvenience. And I know there are probably people out there like, oh, it can't smell that bad. It doesn't matter.
Let me take it one step further. I have cystic fibrosis. I cannot be around smoke. I've never smoked. I can't smoke. I can't be around it. It's terrible for my health and my lungs. And yet, if I'm in a building where somebody has smoked weed, I can smell it, and I am just subject to it all
and here's
day.
the other thing, too. If you want to do it, and that's your prerogative, and it's legal, and that's all that stuff, okay. But again, let's go back to that original agreement where you remove it from being my problem. So be courteous about people that don't want to smell, don't want to smoke. Just be courteous of those people.
Mitch on YouTube says, a weed pipe is called a bowl. A crack pipe is called a stem. A meth pipe is called a bubble. Don't ask me how I know this. I just watch a lot of documentaries. Okay, Mitch.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Mitch.
He's wearing sunglasses in his profile
That's
picture.
not even what I want to know. I don't want to know what those are called. Mitch, what's the one what's the refined one that the cartoon detective.
The Sherlock Holmes smoke?
That's who it is.
The cartoon detective.
I know very little about pipes and Sherlock Holmes.
C.S. Lewis smoked a pipe. He said everybody should smoke a pipe because it gives you time to think before you answer. So he would come into a room, somebody would ask him a question.
But did he say what kind of pipe?
I'm pretty sure he was talking
No,
about
And did he solve mysteries?
He didn't say what kind, did he?
I saw his pipe.
Oh.
It's a tobacco pipe. That doesn't mean that's what he was smoking
It's a
out
corn
of it.
pop.
And did
corn
his
corn
hat
pop pipe.
and did his hat have two bills, one in the front and one in the back?
Probably cost $2. YouTube live chat poll: could Trump win New York, Ryan?
No. I would love to say yes to this poll. And I do think he'll make it competitive. I don't think he can win it.
Brad?
I don't think he will win it, but I think he can win it.
Katie says, yes, Trump can win New York. I'm not pessimistic enough to believe either of the two major candidates can be counted out of contention this early. I like that take. Chris says, yes, New York is just as fed up as the rest of the U.S. The mainstream media would never tell you that. And Dirk says, I chose no. An area of New York elected AOC. They elected Hillary and the current New York mayor. Trump could poo gold and
or
pay
an
off
egg.
the national debt or an egg on a water slide. With it, New York voters would still reject him. The YouTube poll, y'all voted over 200 votes. 56% said no, but 44% said yes, which I think is the takeaway here. 44% of you said you think that Trump can win New York. I almost think that's enough to say Why don't you give it a try? Stick around. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors,